Hey everybody, happy Friday night. Oh yeah, they're okay. I was wondering this.
I was wondering where the hell
I didn't see any chat, so I was kind of like, are we talking to nobody?
Yeah. I didn't have it.
What else is new?
I didn't see a comment section. I had to reload it, and then there's a comment section.
Yeah, okay, it came up.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
okay. Well, you might be like a couple of seconds ahead of me. I think I'm lagging a little bit behind. I have like a 5-second delay on there. So hey everybody, how is your Friday going so far?
Yeah, we're going to sit here and party at the house.
Party at the house.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be going out today.
Well, I mean, the thing about it, it's the end of the month.
Yeah.
We went, actually last weekend, we partied hard because we did the show Friday night, and then Saturday, we went to the Temple of Mercy / Obsidian show, and we not only went to that, but then we went to Barbarella after that.
Yeah.
And stayed there until closing.
Yeah.
So I didn't drink that much though. So we actually, I think I only had like 2 of those little canned thingies over the whole course of the evening. So I didn't actually spend that money, but Tom drank a shit ton.
Yeah, everybody's showing it. Tammy's there. What's up, Tammy? Camp Guy's in.
Hey everybody.
Yeah. Camp Guy said his wife's gonna retire soon. She just got home. Everybody's saying hi. Looks like.
Like retire, like.
I don't know.
For good, or like just retire for the evening?
Probably retire for good.
I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to retire.
Yeah. I think probably, well, working from home and the businesses that we're in, would probably never be able to retire.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to. I mean, unless I win the lotto or something.
Yeah.
Then I'll retire, but otherwise I don't think
you're gonna be writing books and doing graphic design the rest of your life, probably.
Probably. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah. Well,
there's a lot worse things you can be doing the rest of your life.
Yeah. At least you're not fucking out running a lawnmower, which that's what the name of this fucking episode is.
That was the first thing I
Lawnmower Man episode. Past couple weeks has been Lawnmower fucking Adventure.
Lawnmower
I'm
Adventure.
Sick of this shit, man.
The new Tubi original movie.
Sick of this shit, man.
Not really, but maybe. I don't know.
What Lawnmower Adventure is the lawn service that the old owners of this house had for this place. They fell into debt. All right.
Is that what it was? Okay,
yeah,
I knew they stopped coming, but I didn't know why.
So I called him. I was like, "Hey, I'll be more than happy to have you over. You know what I mean? And do it. I'll pay." Well, he doesn't want to work here anymore because this house owes him money. It's not us.
Yeah, we just got
prior
here.
owners.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to work here. So then, turns out the guy lives up the street who I talked with. His name is Q. He's from Puerto Rico. We just call him Q. He's ex-military guy, and. He's got a pretty good lawnmower, and he's over in Puerto Rico, and he says, well, you can use my lawnmower when I'm in Puerto Rico as long as you mow my lawn. So I mowed most of his lawn, and the fucking belt broke. I had to spend $75 for a belt, and I can't put that bitch back together. I told him, I said, I don't really want to work on your machine, because if I break it, you know what I mean, you're going to blame me. He's like, oh, no, go ahead. And I was like, no.
No, I'm not wading into that quagmire. No way.
I know how this is going to go. And he's going to go, no, you can use my lawnmower, and then if you mow my lawn. Because he just came out of surgery, you know what I mean? And I'm going, nah, I know how this is going to go. That lawnmower's going to break. When he's on it, he's going to blame me. Yeah, running my lawnmower too
that
hard.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen there. So I went down to Lowe's. And being disabled military and everything, I was able to get a Lowe's card. They gave me a $7,000 credit line, trying to get my ass into debt.
Well, yeah, because they want you to buy. It's like, here, come buy all the things you need for this house.
Yeah, so I bought a $3,000 fucking Husqvarna ride-on mower, big old fucking V-twin mower. It was their best one, but the price difference was only $300 more than the other one I was going to get, but it was better. I was looking at a John Deere. But the Husqvarna kept calling me. I was like, "That's a better mower, and it's only $300 more." And really, it's not going to make much difference after all this shit's financed on any kind of monthly payment anyway. So I got that thing on a 6-month interest-free loan. I could get $1,000 down on it, okay, and that will only be about, after it's all done, and find it $1,600. Pay $1,600 over the next 6 months,
yeah.
and there's no interest. Well, between me and Jenny, that's only about $35, $40 a piece. That's less than it would cost to hire a lawn crew.
Yeah,
Right.
it's going to be way cheaper.
Way cheaper. So, and then in 6 months it's paid for, and I don't have to worry about fucking lawn crews or anything. Just put fuel in it and oil in it. And it's got a 3-year warranty, and its parts are, easy to get, and it's well made. So you can drive it. It's got headlights, It's got a place where you can put your beer. Because when you're rolling down that ramp and jump over the fucking pool, you're gonna need a place to set the fucking beer, okay? Because we're known for doing shit like fucking ramping the lawnmower over the pool.
Well,
they got the shit on video.
If we had a pool,
which
we don't.
But I've seen fucking that shit's on video where fucking rednecks in Florida trying to ramp the fucking mower over the pool.
That sounds like some dumb shit, Florida.
With holding a beer. Over the deep end. I've seen it. The motherfucker had to be loaded.
Well, yeah.
And all his friends were watching and laughed.
Sounded like a good idea at the time.
Yeah. That's like ridiculous.
That's their excuse for everything.
Yeah.
Then the next day, they're like super expensive lawnmowers at the bottom of the pool, and it's all fucked up. Then they have to get another one.
Right. So I just go ahead and bite the bullet and buy this fucking lawnmower. And then I'd have $7,000 credit line with Lowe's so I could buy some paint and do some shit around the house.
Yeah, because really, this
I want to repaint
this and my bathroom are the only rooms that are painted.
Well, no, they're painted. The other shit's painted. It's just
that's what I'm saying. We didn't paint them. Like, they weren't colors. It's just like a weird, like, pale blue
looking bullshit.
Kind of like it's not even blue. It's just like a really like bullshit, like very very pale blue.
Gray blue.
I mean, it's better than beige.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah,
but. I mean, as soon as before we even, fully moved in, I said, well, this is the office. This is where we're going to be doing the show from. So I said, I definitely want to paint this and decorate this. And so I said, well, I might as well do the bathroom, too, while I'm at it. So the bathroom's not the same color. The bathroom's green, but, Yeah, but
it's like a chartreuse looking.
Well, it's like, I wanted it to look like, because, like I said, I think I mentioned this before, but the bathroom in there is like a Alphonse Musha or Muka. Like Art Nouveau theme, and that just to me associates with absinthe and that kind of Belle Epoque kind of stuff. So it's like absinthe color.
It says bathroom. It's not a normal bathroom. It's a bathroom, a dressing room, and a fucking dressing table. It's like almost like two bathrooms joined. One of them has a shower and a toilet, and then a huge closet, and then it's got doors that seal that off, and then next to it is another thing that kind of looks like a bathroom. It's a dressing room with tile floors and like a walk-in closet.
It has a walk-in closet and a mirror and a sink.
And it's another sink and another place where a woman could do makeup and stuff. So it's kind of like it's a nice bathroom right there.
Although
this is the room that connects to it. So it's like a studio.
Yeah.
It's like a studio.
I kind of use that actually as my coffee station.
Like a coffee station.
Because the bathroom is big enough to put my makeup on in there. So I do have all my goth clothes and stuff in this closet, but but I usually just use that. I got a little coffee pot over there. And
over here's a small bedroom that I've converted into a gym. It's got all my gym stuff in. And then there's a living room out here, big living room that has a refrigerator in there. I want to put a sink on the other side and a bar, and make that a kind of like.
I think we need a microwave too.
And a microwave
and a toaster oven.
A toaster oven. So that we don't have to go downstairs and do certain things because the top stairs
we're lazy.
Well, the top floors run as an office and a business now. We can do shipping and receiving and weighing stuff, and so it's a business up here. Well, that'd be a perfect place to have friends over and fucking get loaded and have some entertainment and stuff. It's got a really badass light system I set up with fucking colored smart lights and.
Yeah, it's not much furniture in it yet, but there's just some chairs and a couple little tables.
I'd eventually like to have some old retro stand-up video games and stuff, because you can get reproductions for not too expensive. A couple $100 you can get a Missile Command or a fucking Pac-Man, something stupid like that. Something that looks. I kind of like the nouveau retro look, like a lot of people are doing, where it's kind of 80s looking.
Yeah,
but neon and colors, We'll see. Let's see what we do.
Fourth Row Down said build a bar on the lawnmower.
Build a bar on the lawnmower? It's kind of got one. It's got a thing there, and it's got a little the deck, the hood opens up on it.
Wait, it's got a little deck, so you could have a beer and a sandwich.
Yeah, you can put some shit up in there. What I'd like to
Sitting
have...
there eating a sub sandwich and drinking a beer while you're both.
I'd like to have some side view mirrors. Put a roof on it with a fan blowing.
Why don't you just make a little house and then install
a house
a lawnmower
chain
on the bottom.
behind us so the cat can fucking come.
Yeah, because you know she's gonna be like, well, no, because she's like scared of anything that's outside and makes noise. She doesn't even like the garbage truck or anything like that.
Yeah, let me get some more.
She hears the garbage truck go by and she's like, oh no, and she runs and hides under the thing. It's just not so much here, but at the old house she used to, because she could really hear it, and she was just like, it's coming to get me. But that's, you know, Pookie does not go outside at the new house, which, you know, well, it's not even new anymore. We've been here a long time, or since last September. But I'm kind of happy that she doesn't want to go outside anymore. I think it's because at the old house, when this was like a year ago, right? Because it was when I was in St. Augustine, and that was like not this past June, but the June before, like 2021. And when I was in St. Augustine, little Pookie, she was outside with Tom. Like, Tom took her outside, and she was like running around in the yard. And the neighbor had a new dog, and the dog wanted to come over. It's like, ooh, kitty, and wanted to come over and see. And he said like the dog's like super friendly, and they had cats too. So it's like he loves cats. So he wanted to come over and meet her, and she was like, absolutely not. And she panicked so hard that she ran to the neighbor's house and started knocking on the front door. Let me in! Let me in! There's like a big doggy monster, and it's coming to get me. And like, the poor little baby. And so Tom had to like go down. I think it was like 2 houses down. And he had to go get her. He's like, this isn't your house, Pookie. Why are you knocking on the door? Like, let it in. And then she was running, and she kind of got her little claw like caught on something, right? Her little, like, the end of her little claw broke or something, and so her little foot was hurt for a day or two. But since then, she has been shown like absolutely no interest in going outside. She likes to look out the window, and she likes to, like in Tom's bathroom, she likes to jump up on the toilet and then jump up on the windowsill and look out. And she likes to lay in little sunbeams like coming in, but she doesn't want to go outside. I think it's because the neighbor here has 2 dogs, and they're always in the backyard.
Yeah. Before it drove down, says Jenny, don't let Tom go driving through flaming hoops on that thing. I know. I just gotta like.
You know he's going.
Gotta make sure that I'm not drinking and mowing at the same time.
You know you're going to.
Because that
you make dumb decisions
I'd
all
be like,
the time.
fucking, fuck this shit, man. I hate doing this shit, and I fucking make one of these. And I put that in the thing.
I'm mowing the lawn.
Splashing, it's just splashing everywhere. Hold on. That might happen. We'll just have to see. We have to see how good I get with it.
You're gonna go out to the lawn and it's like there's just fucking
it's
all
built
over.
like a tractor. It's got big wheels in the back and kind of smaller wheels in the front. And I'm looking at the brochures. It's bragging about how tight it can turn. It's got real tight turn radius on it. It's got a fucking big wide deck. I think it was 53 inches or 58 inches or something. It's got a big... hopefully I got room in the garage. I don't know where I'm going to put those motorcycles.
Yeah, oh yeah, shit.
Out. Yeah, well, you can't leave these things out. They'll steal them.
Well, yeah.
There's one of them got stole up the road.
It got stole.
Got stole. They got motherfuckers coming into this neighborhood stealing mowers.
Maybe... Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe you could put your motorcycles on the back porch, or you could put the...
They'll steal those too.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, now I'm like, well...
Bring a motorcycle into the house.
Maybe.
Already got one in here.
I mean, that's a little...
I got my little...
I am absolutely not helping you carry the big ones upstairs.
No, I have to leave... Oh, no, they weigh 380
I was going to say.
They have to stay on the
We managed to get that little bitty Honda up the stairs, like the 2 of us, but that one's only like 100-something
My motorcycles are beautiful anyway. They're all custom. They're like artwork. They're Buells. Buell XBs. I got an XB12 that's half lightning and half firebolt. It's called a lightning bolt. And the other one is a Buell XB9 SX, which is kind of like the City Cross, and it's a 1000cc Harley Davidson style V-twin, little bitty fucking rocket. It looks like kind of like a little dirt bike, kind of a little supermoto with a giant engine in it. Motocross looking bars on. I want to put. Now that I'm out here in the country, I want to put fucking dual sport tires on it, kind of semi knobby, so you can write it on dirt if you have to. Be neat to have, you know. If I have to do some fucking Daryl Dixon action, you know what I mean, up in this motherfucker during the apocalypse, I got a motorcycle that could ride on the dirt and the road. Be nice.
Fourth Row Down also says no crop circles neither.
Yeah, no crop circles.
No making no crop circles.
Yeah, I might have to do that shit.
That might be a good idea.
While I was there, I got two more papaya plants, and I got two high. You won't give a shit about these. I got two of these high yield banana trees. They were only $10 each.
Wow, cheap. Too bad I don't really like bananas.
I had a banana tree out there, but it never did yield any bananas. And then I took a picture of it and posted it on the place, and they says, "Well, that banana tree is a decorative banana tree. It doesn't make bananas." So I'm like, look, I'm going, you fucking bitch. I had it for like 3 years. Wondering where the bananas were coming.
Oh, wait, you wanted that to actually grow bananas?
I wanted to grow,
that's not what that was.
We're a decorative banana tree, and I'm thinking, I'm going to throw your ass out. But it's pretty, you know what I mean? I'm just probably just going to... It came out of a big old planter. We had it at the old place. I'll probably bury it somewhere out in the back where it'll get bigger, look pretty somewhere. There's a lot of tropical trees in here, you know, palm trees and shit. But the banana trees look good. But these banana trees, they make bananas, but it's going to take about a year.
Well, like I said, I don't really give a shit about that. Yeah. I don't hate bananas. It's just not really, and I know that they're full of potassium and they're really good for you and stuff like that, but it's just, I just never really want one.
I love them.
I just never really want one.
I like them in smoothies.
Yeah, a lot of people like them.
I like them in smoothies mostly, with peanut butter.
Yeah, that's okay, but I would rather not.
Well, what you can do with them is you can put them in make banana bread. You don't mind banana bread?
Yeah, I don't mind banana bread actually. Right. So if you have like a shit ton of bananas, well, just like we had with like the fucking eggplants where we just had eggplants.
I got a shit ton of eggplant.
Well, we got eggplant like falling out our ass. It's like, God, there's so much of it.
Past 2 days, I brought in probably a dozen eggplants. And there's still another dozen of them.
They grow like that's like some mutant shit right there.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't either.
I didn't realize. I got about 9 eggplant plants out there, and I can't keep up with them.
Yeah, and it's like we made. Oh my God, you made like so much baba ganoush out of it, and then like you made like some fucking.
I made lasagna.
Lasagna with it.
Lasagna with it.
Made all kind of stuff.
An eggplant is expensive at the store. You know. These fuckers constantly make eggplants. Now, they said that they make egg. Yeah, they said that that's a good eggplant breed for Florida. They're not that big. They only get about that big. But they put them. They grow quickly. You cut one out, and you go back there, and a couple days later, there's another one.
Like, God damn it, knock it off.
Shit. A couple weeks later, that fucker's that big. So I can start trading these things.
Yeah, go see if somebody's got like some other.
I know there's a woman growing up there. Her whole yard's a fucking.
Like, see if anybody's got some honey or some eggs or I don't know. Lots of people have honey and eggs and all kind of blueberries and all kind of.
Trade them for eggs.
Yeah, there you go. I love eggs.
Yeah.
Camp Guy said another person killed by a gator in Florida this week. Elderly lady fell into a pond.
Yeah, well, she shouldn't have done it.
2 7-foot gators got her. Well, she was elderly. I'm sure it wasn't her choice.
She had to watch it, man. Fucking. You snooze, you lose up in here, man.
That sucks, man. That's really
there's only two kind of people, man: the quick and the dead. That's it. She fell in. She shouldn't have done it.
She shouldn't have fell in.
Shouldn't have fell in.
Tom's victim blaming.
Hey, I'm just telling you the way nature works, man. Fucking, it's not me. It's nature. Nature blamed her. You fell in.
I mean, alligators are kind of like above us on the food chain.
Yeah,
they're like sharks.
And you can't reason with an alligator or a shark. So don't fall in.
Gramthars has asked us some questions.
Okay.
He's always good for giving us some discussion topics. Well, here's this one, the shortest one that'll take the shortest time to answer. Are there many blue-haired women in Eustis?
Yeah.
No, well, unless they're old ladies.
No, yeah. No, you can go to the biker bar over here, and see, redneck girls with colored hair. It's not really.
Yeah, it's not really all that weird anymore.
It's not that weird anymore. And like I said, she's a wig girl. You know what I mean? And a lot of goth girls are wig girls now. It's
much easier.
It's much easier. And a lot of the biker type women are not. they're actually dyeing it. That's why it looks bad, because it takes a lot of work to keep that color bright, shining.
Yeah, colors like this. I mean, I had my hair bright red. Like, I actually bleached it and dyed it.
Good.
And it looked fantastic, but it only looked fantastic because I dyed it every single week. If you didn't dye it every single week, and I only washed it like once or twice a week. Otherwise, red fades like super, super quick, and it'll start like turning pink, and you'll start getting like all this kind of. So I really, really had to keep on top of it.
And every pillow was red.
Yeah.
She left fucking red dye wherever she went.
Yeah.
Wherever she put her head.
Yeah. And every time I would do it, like it kind of like started turning the shower pink and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, and after a while, I was just kind of like,
getting her ass ready for a new photo shoot because Dimitri, he just hit me up a few minutes ago, and he was saying that, the other Jen, his Jen, Jen and Laura want to come down and do a photo shoot, and I'll show you the girls I'm talking about.
We were talking about that at the last Memento. Yeah. Actually, Brian took that at our old house.
Yeah. That's
like a few years ago.
So Jenny's gonna do a photo shoot with them. She's already done photo shoots with them before. Jen, the girl in the red top, she's actually the vocalist for a band called 13th Angel, and Laura's just a longtime friend of ours. Those are the girls that sometimes we'll talk about, you know, where they say, oh, those good-looking girls, they're all bitches and mean. Those two girls are some of the nicest girls you'd ever fucking meet.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Neither
one of them has, like, a mean bone in their
body.
No,
those aren't, like, the mean girls. And they're, like...
I'm probably the meanest one out of the three. Out of the three of us.
Yeah.
Actually, I know I'm the meanest one out of the three. Yeah, and I'm not that mean.
and they, you know, they look like models, you know. You guys saw them. But no, they're not a mean bone in their bodies. But Dimitri's like... He's like, we're going to make this shit happen now with the bubble bath. Because Dimitri has this thing where he wants a photo shoot of my Jen and his Jen together in basically like a fucking lesbianic nude photo shoot with bubble bath, and they're in the bubble with their boots on, with their shoes on, boot fetish, and Jenny's boob over her shoulder, and fucking the other Jen
boob over the shoulder,
sucking on it and shit, all this crazy shit. And now he's like, oh, we're gonna get Laura in on this too, man. It's gonna be a fucking lesbianic threesome. We're gonna have them all decked up. It's gonna look great. We're gonna, you know, it's just this motherfucker's mind running away with it. But they have a kind of a fetish background. Those two, they go to fetish clubs and stuff. And he's a pretty well known DJ in this area.
Yeah, he's a DJ.
He's a good guy. We've worked for him forever. And we used to go to these events and stay at hotels with him and shit. And we'd get fucking blasted.
Yeah, like Vampire Ball at the castle and stuff.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just me and him high-fiving and shit, and fucking I unleashed the abominable snowman, and all kinds of weird shit happened. And they're fucking laughing at my fucking stupid ass rolling around. We should have recorded that. You know, that would have been fucking
it was very funny.
It was fucking hilarious. But,
and I'm surprised that I actually remember a lot of it, even though we were all like really, really hammered.
Yeah, we were pretty loaded.
We were all really hammered.
Yeah. Yeah. But fucking that OnlyFans gonna have to happen. We gotta have all those beautiful girls in one spot with all that fucking goth outfits and all those damn cameras. Yeah. Yeah, I'm already imagining.
Tom's got he's already imagining it.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, we haven't even had anybody over to our new house yet. So, no, that's not true.
We've had
Angel and Mike have come over.
Angel
and Mike have come over a couple
times.
Just
the house isn't really furnished.
That's what I mean. It's like this place is furnished. Like I said, the living room.
Rooms are furnished, but not the house.
It's just kind of like sparse.
Yeah.
Because this house is like quite a bit bigger than our old one, so we didn't really have enough furniture to like fill up the shit, and we don't really have enough money.
And we don't have a lot of money. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay. And
so I can't afford to buy a sofa. I can't afford to buy,
And another thing is that I didn't want to start hanging up art and start buying shit with the walls being the colors that they are. I want my own colors.
Because I really don't like the colors that the walls are.
Yeah, the colors aren't. The colors are boring. I could spice this shit up, man. It would look really good when I get done with it. but it takes time, and you kind of got it. I don't really have the inspiration. I don't really know exactly the way it should look.
We haven't even decided like what color we want to paint the bedroom.
Yeah.
I mean, the bedroom at the old house
It was red.
And I really, really liked that. And we had a little bit, I don't even know if I'd call it a theme, but we had like a little bit, the walls were red, and then we had kind of like a little bit of an Egyptian, like an ancient Egyptian thing going on.
It's red
like
and
we
black.
had, like, it was like red and black and gold, and we had like a lot of Egyptian type art, because we both had Egyptian art. Like I had a bunch of little statues and little pictures and
that
stuff.
old bedroom had a pretty ceiling.
It did.
Was vaulted, and this is a very boring looking ceiling on it.
It is. I mean, it's high, but it doesn't.
It's got angles to it.
It doesn't have a fan or anything.
It doesn't
like
have a fan
that.
in it. It doesn't have places where track lighting and fucking accent lighting would be. But
yeah, the old one had what do they call that? Like it was like almost like a tray ceiling, where it was kind of like it was like that, and then there was like up in the middle. It was like it was cool looking.
Where it met the wall, it was one level, and then it would vault up into a flat area. But it was a more complicated ceiling. It looked great. It looked like it was built for accent lighting that no one ever installed.
Yeah.
And we didn't own it, so I wasn't going to install it. But that could have been a fantastic Florida house. This house is bigger, but I got to admit, I like it better. It's a lot more efficient with the air conditioning. The architecture is not as, and the accents is not as pretty. There was something about that house, because that house was mostly glass, which fucking looked great. Boy, you couldn't air condition that motherfucker. I mean, it's just like every door in it was glass, and every fucking, pretty much every room had all kinds of fucking glass windows in it.
Yeah, like big glass windows, sliding glass windows. Which, like I said, it looked nice, but it was always, I don't think it was always hot in there. It was just, it was harder to keep it cool, and like every year or two, the air conditioning would break because it would
running it so hard.
It would overheat because it was like trying so hard to keep it cool. This one, well, like I said, this one's 2 stories and it has 2 air conditioning units. So as far as I mean, so far, this is the first summer we've been here, but it really hasn't been having any trouble. It ices up, like it iced up the other day, and like the guy had to come sort that out. But the electric bill is really not bad at all.
Yeah.
I was like dreading it, but it's really not. I mean, the house is a lot more efficient than the old one.
Yeah.
You know.
Tammy says, I have a shit ton of zucchini, cucumbers, and tomatoes. I'll trade you for some eggplants. Yeah, I got 3 different kinds of tomatoes going. One of them is kind of like a beefsteak type tomato, big, but it was a special breed that grows well in Florida. Another one are the little cherry tomatoes, and I'm just putting in Romas. All right. Those tomatoes were fucking yielding faster than I could eat them. I mean, every time I go out there, there's more little cherry tomatoes. I'm picking them, and they're backing up on me. So I don't need any tomatoes. To get rid of the tomatoes, I cook them and then blend them, and then cook it down, turn it into tomato sauce. That's the only way I can stay on top of them. I don't have any zucchinis, but know what else came in today? About 8 big jalapenos came in. 8 of them.
Nice.
And then about 10 serrano chilies.
We have little potatoes too out there, don't we? Too, because
I got sweet potatoes that are about ready.
You got sweet potatoes, and you have those little. They're not fingerling potatoes, but they're just like little.
No, those
bitty.
are regular white potatoes, but they're because of the weather and
they're miniature.
But they're kind of small. It has to do with it's too hot right now. Next year,
tell me about it.
Next year they'll be bigger.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yeah, it'll be bigger. It'll be big. Well, when you're growing them in cooler environments, they get bigger.
Yeah, I feel like potatoes are more a cool weather.
But they made big promises.
Tuber.
I got 6 bags. I'm using grow bags. I got 6 big grow bags of fucking sweet potatoes, and they say those turn out big. I haven't checked them. But
Sweet
I just
potatoes
lay a
are good
sheet
too.
out. I lay a sheet out and fucking drag the grow bag onto it, turn it upside down, and then just boom, and then pull the potatoes out, and then put all the soil right back into the grow bag, and then drag it back over there.
What were the peppers? What were the peppers that you put in your Thai curry that you made yesterday? Or
no, those were store bought.
I thought you said
dried ones. No, I didn't put those in there. What I made 2 bottles of hot sauce out of 3 No, 4. What are those fucking things called?
Did you just say it? Serrano chili?
No, not Serranos. Not ghost pepper.
I thought you said they were ghost pepper.
Maybe it is ghost pepper. That was a special
You said they were
breed.
like super, super hot.
Fucking hot. That was the hottest fucking something.
Because you said it was
Reapers.
Oh, that's right.
Reapers.
Carolina Reapers.
God. They're only about that tall and about that big. I put them on the wire, on the metal wire, and put them in my small air fryer, which has a bunch of different settings. But I put it on broil, and I broiled them, blackened them on either side, and then I threw them in with some pickled jalapenos with the juice. And then just hit it with a immersion blender. And I also had some red chili peppers that I'd soaked in hot water. Put them in there. And that shit was so fucking hot. I had enough to fill up my hot sauce bottle. Filled it up with a, what do you call it thing? Funnel. But then I had that much of it left in the bottom of it. And I said, what am I going to do with that? Well, I had some French's mustard. So I mixed that together and made hot mustard, and that hot mustard's fucking good. So I'm watching it to make sure there's no decay happening. The last one, it started to bubble, sitting there bubbling. And it's because I had roasted garlic in there, and that garlic started to ferment.
Oh.
So you can't do it.
That's not good.
No. So I'm just making sure, as long as it's vinegar and vinegar type stuff, and there is a little bit of tomato in there. I blended up some of those cherry tomatoes. So there's a slight tomato base in it, but it's so acid nothing can grow in it. But I'm watching it. They're in clear glass hot sauce bottles, and making sure that there's no decay. And they've been in room temperature now for a week and a half, so should be okay. They'd be rotten by now, or giving off signs of rot. Whenever I loosen the damn caps or the corks, I don't hear any hissing. So that means no gas is being released.
Nothing's blown up or anything.
Nothing's blown up. Because it popped a cork out of one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, my main hot sauce bottle is an old tequila bottle that had a cork, a rubber cork, which is sanitary. A rubber cork with a wooden lid on it. That shit is so fucking hot. And,
Yeah, and you know it's hot if you say it's hot.
Yeah. It's hot. Because I love hot shit. This is way hot. Very concentrated. When I mixed it with that, it's mostly French's mustard. It's still hot, but it's way more edible. Delicious. Be great on a hamburger or a hot dog.
Don't you be putting that on my hamburgers or hot dogs. I'll have heartburn for days.
Once I get that shit right, I might offer that for sale. In a bottle and everything that Jen prints up the label, because we have the technology to make a bottle.
We have the technology.
In it. I'll give you some of that fucking Carolina Reaper sauce. I don't think I can get it to Europe. But a large bottle of it, even if you ate that every meal, that's a year's worth.
It's a big bottle.
That's a big bottle. But
and I feel like most people that use hot sauce, especially one that hot, usually just use kind of like a drizzle.
Yeah, just a couple drips. But I'll once I get this shit down, I like the flavor. I just want to make sure everything's shelf stable. Once I get that shit down, if you guys are interested, I'll have Jenny to design up a real nice bottle for it. I can bottle it right here for a super chat. I'll send it to you.
Speaking of which,
Ship
we
that
gotta
shit
do
too.
those. We gotta do those shirts this weekend too.
Yeah.
Because we had a
Yeah,
couple people
right.
wanting
Gotta
them.
do shirts.
I wrote down. They both sent me their addresses, so I have the addresses, and I wrote down. And I went and looked at the blank shirts, and happily, I had way more shirts than I remembered. I was thinking, oh, we had used a bunch up,
No, we
and
had
like
a lot
I
of
saw,
shirts.
yeah. So I went through there and like went through all the sizes, and I was like, well, shit, I was only short about 10, 15 shirts, like of various sizes, but I had like pretty much every size. I had to order like a few more extra larges. I had to order a few more mediums because I think we were out of those. But other than that, we have at least like 3, 4, 5 shirts in pretty much every size, which I didn't realize.
Zach, I think it's 98 degrees right now. 100% humidity.
Yeah, I mean, my computer here is not right because that says 83 and then it says raining, and I was like, that's not right. I think it's maybe 83 in this room.
Yeah.
I don't think it's 83 outside.
It's 73.
No, I'm just saying. I was just like, there's no way that it's 83 outside. It has been raining, but that doesn't usually make it cool off. It's Florida.
Camp guys talking about several good YouTube channels on fermenting pepper sauce. You have to follow a very careful procedure. Yeah, you do. As long as everything's cooked, and then once it's sealed properly and you don't unseal it, as long as everything was done correctly, it could stay like that indefinitely. When you open it and start exposing it to oxygen, that's going to knock it down a little bit. Well, maybe quite a bit, maybe from decades down to a year. So there's hot sauce I've had open, factory hot sauce that I've had open longer than a year.
Although they probably put like some kind of preservatives and shit like that in there, so that shit'll last forever.
But those fucking Carolina Reapers are so hot, I don't think anything could live in it. Maybe some extremophile.
I was gonna say one of those things at the bottom of the ocean, living by the thermal vents.
Yeah. It was
living in your hot sauce.
It's not it's a modern pepper. It's not that old, but evidently they say Guinness Book of World Records. They fucking did a whole analysis. They said it is the hottest pepper in the world. Just one of them will make a huge bottle of hot sauce that you can barely eat.
I don't know. I'm not casting aspersions on people that like hot sauce.
Yeah.
But to me, when you put hot sauce on something, that's like all you can taste is the hot sauce, and it's like, to me it just tastes like heartburn and pain.
After a while though, your body sorts it out, and you can taste two things at once.
I mean, I
know what you're talking about.
I don't mind jalapenos, but anything that's hotter than that, even jalapenos will give me heartburn. Not gonna lie, but I do like jalapenos. But anything hotter than that, it's gonna be a bad time. Yeah. And honestly, it's so heat forward that I can't taste anything else. I'm generally a kind of person that, and I've always been like this, I like to kind of taste my food. So I don't really like I don't like stuff with like tons and tons of gravy or like tons and tons of condiments or something. Even when I have like spaghetti and meatballs, I like sauce and stuff, but not a lot. I don't like, because I know some people like pasta and it's just like drowning in sauce. I don't like that. I just like enough to just coat the noodles and that's it. I don't like everything to be like swamped with gravy and stuff.
Yeah. Now, as far as the bottle, I got mine in a bottle that you can pour or kind of shake it. It's thick, you know. But I don't think I'd sell it in that. I think it's probably because it's a little messy because when you stir it, then you have to put the cork back in and wipe it. I didn't really like that. It would be probably better to sell it in something like a jar, like a pretty jar, so you can reach in there with a spoon. It's easier to control how much you're using with a spoon than throwing it. You know, the consistency isn't something that's good for pouring. It's a little too thick. It's more something you could spoon it onto something. You could control it better. That's probably how I would sell it if I did. But it would have to have a real cool label on it, and the jar would have to be right. A jar that not real wide, but wide enough to where you can get a spoon in it. You know? It had to look right. Because I like pretty packaging. It has to fit
I
the product.
do as well.
It has to fit the product.
That's one of my big things. I guess it's because I'm a graphic designer, but I really like... I mean, I just there's something that makes me really, really happy about any. It doesn't have to be food. It could be any product. It could be a book. It could be anything. But if the form, of the content of the thing is like reflected in the design of it, it's just like very, very satisfying to me. You know what I'm saying? So I really do like. I try to keep to like. Sometimes I'll go through and look and like, what's the coolest like package design? And stuff. I'm like, ooh, look at that. Oh, what a good idea. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
But this street right here, there's nothing but farms, and half of them says on the outside little signs, farm to table, and you can go in there and buy stuff from them. So this is like a farm to table area, where you can just go in there and buy rabbits. You know, or chickens, or anything, you know. They're growing fruit and their vegetables. They put up a sign what they have ready. And they're nice, real nice farms, you know. Look like something out of a movie, you know. But that's what I would sell. Anything, if I would make this hot sauce, it's going to be stuff out of this garden here. Unless it's going to be something where I'm going to mix French's mustard with it or something. That was fucking fantastic. So, you know, I'll be honest about what's in it when I give it. But that one Carolina sauce that I have there has my own tomatoes in it, too. Made a difference.
So that's like farm to bottle.
Yeah, that's like farm to table. Shit. Yeah, and it's not mass produced. It's handcrafted.
There you go.
And
Small batch.
Yeah, handcrafted shit. If I were to do it, it would have a badass fucking bottle, and you'd be proud of that shit. You would keep the bottle when you're done.
Well, yeah, that's the goal, isn't it? It's like the bottle's like too pretty to throw away.
Right, yeah. That's what I would want.
Kaylon Higgins said, why can't fast food look like how it's presented in the commercials? Well, because there's something called a food stylist.
That's not food half the time.
Well, no, there's laws about that now. It used to be like back in the old days that you could be like, hey, we have this like burger for sale. So like it wasn't even a burger. It was like fucking plastic or something.
It's plastic, yeah.
Like it wasn't plastic, but it was using other things.
A lot of times when they showed ice cream, it wasn't ice cream. It was Crisco. Colored Crisco. There's all kinds of stuff.
There's a law now, as far as I know, this is a federal law, that when you're advertising food, the actual food that you're advertising, that has to be the food that you're showing. You can't do a thing, like I said, if you're Breyers and you're selling ice cream, hey, look at this TV commercial and it's ice cream and it's actually shortening. Yeah. You can't do that. They have to actually show the. Now you can use other shit for, you know, other things like that aren't the product that you're selling. Like, hey, I'm going to put chocolate sauce on this. We're not selling chocolate sauce, so we'll use motor oil. It's not that they don't use that, but I'm just saying they can do that. Like, if you're selling cereal, you can use like watered down glue or something like that, like to make the milk, like just so it looks better.
Looks thicker.
Because milk on camera doesn't look that good.
Yeah. Neither does ice cream. It melts instantly.
Well, yeah, because of the lights. Yeah. But I mean, they do have laws now. But the thing about it, though,
it looks like shit on camera.
A lot of food does. Well, that's why food stylist is a thing. Because even if you're using the actual food, you have to like sit there and meticulously arrange it. You know, so when they do like the commercials, even if they do a photo shoot like for McDonald's or Burger King or something, you have somebody that's like building, that is actual food, but they're building the thing and they're like pinning the lettuce and the tomato like in the place and like, you know, putting a little steam thing behind it so it looks like hot and everything like that. So, you know.
Okay.
Gramthars asking some more questions. I think we missed some of the last ones, but that was a long time ago. Okay. What world city has the most goths? You know what? I don't even know. Would it even be an American city? I kind of feel like it'd probably be a European city.
I don't know. They have a bunch of in Germany and sometimes in Austria, and I think it was in Hungary. They were having that Treffen. Treffen was when?
Yeah, they do that every year.
Yeah, it's in different locations, isn't it? It's kind of like Convergence. I think.
I didn't think they moved it. I thought it was in the same place every time.
Where is it? Germany?
Yeah, it's Germany.
Okay.
Because the Starry Night played at it a couple, like last year, I think.
Yeah, it was Germany that time, but I thought it was sometimes...
No, it's always Germany.
It's always Germany? Okay.
I think it's always in the same...
Okay.
Well, I thought that Treffen was the name of the place where it was at, but I could be wrong about that.
Right.
I'm probably just pulling stuff out my ass. I know Convergence, I don't even think they do that anymore, but Convergence...
Yeah, Convergence was our version of it.
They moved that around. Like, sometimes it was in New Orleans, and sometimes it was in... It was usually in the southeast, though, was it not?
Yeah.
I kind of felt like it was. And then a long time ago, back in the mid-2000s to the late 2000s, they used to have something that was more death rock that was the Drop Dead Festival. But they always had that in New York City. And then, which is awesome, I went to it a couple years. But I think they moved that to, not Germany. Where the fuck did they move it? Maybe Austria or the Czech Republic. Maybe they moved it to the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
That was like several years ago, though.
Used to be back in the 90s, Boston had one of the biggest scenes. I heard that's gone, that it's small now. Louisiana used to have a pretty big scene, but it's pretty much dead, I think, from now. It's a lot smaller than it used to be. L.A. used to have a big one. It's probably still pretty big.
Yeah, I imagine.
It's probably still pretty big. New York, it used to be huge. They had the Vault there. That's another one. I think it was called the Vault, and then there was another. But I don't think it's as big as it used to be.
Well, I think probably a lot of it isn't. Well, you know, because a lot of people aren't going out as much anymore because it's expensive and...
Florida is surprisingly big. The Castle was no joke. That's one of the biggest clubs in the country.
Well, it's still there. And that's been there for years. And
Decades.
that's one of the longest running. And the thing about it is that the castle is one of those places that, because you know how a lot of goth nights are just like a goth night at another kind of club?
Yeah.
Like where they play other stuff?
Not the castle.
The castle is not like that. It's like pretty much a goth club like all the time. And it's...
goth and fetish.
Yeah, and it looks like that.
Yeah.
Like it's this big, and it's a massive, massive building.
You can see it on YouTube. Just go to the castle.
It's a beautiful building.
Tampa.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful building.
So Orlando and Tampa has like a pretty big scene,
Orlando,
actually.
And that goes back to the 90s, you know, fucking on Saturday Night Live when they used to fuck around with that goth talk. But they had Cersei Nightshade and fucking, these kids that were fucking supposed to be like having a goth talk show on a fucking public access. And they were always fighting. They were from Orlando and they were always fucking talking shit about Tampa. And then they had one episode where it was a funny show. Fake show. And they had a girl from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. What was her name? Fucking Sarah Gellar, right?
Yeah, Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah Gellar shows up. She's just all decked out, fucking like goth princess queen. And fucking, okay, and then they gave her a fake name and everything. And they were like, she's here from Tampa. You know, like it's bad. And she goes over there and just starts fucking just flaming on fucking Orlando and about how Orlando's nothing but a bunch of rednecks and shit. And they start fighting. That was fucking great. Because, but you don't have the castle, you know. And just going on. So whoever wrote those skits
was probably from here.
They're from here. They knew everything about. But the animosity between Orlando and fucking Tampa's gone. That is,
it very much was a thing, though, back then.
It was, but
it very much was a thing.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm not going to lie, I mean, Tampa back then was a better scene. They had the castle. They have, well, and nowadays, like Tampa, they don't just have the castle. They have several other goth clubs and live venues. You know what I mean? They have like 3 or 4 different ones, like in a very, very small area. Orlando has more stuff than they used to have. Orlando's had iBar / Barbarella. That's been there for like 30-something years. They, like I said, recently moved away from downtown. But that's not just goth. They had like goth nights there, but that's mostly like new wave, indie, just alternative in general.
And just Jen and Jen in our little company does all the graphic designs for all these clubs. All the castle.
Mostly. Well, I don't do stuff for the castle. I do stuff
actually for the DJs.
I do stuff for Communion After Dark, and I do stuff for what do you call it? Like for Communion After Dark, their live wing, like where they do like the shows that they present. If you see a poster that says Communion After Dark and Endoxa Booking present Voltaire or whoever the fuck, and you see a poster, I probably did that.
Right. And those are DJs that are from the castle. I thought we did some nights of the castle, at least in the past. I mean, it's been a while.
Maybe I have done. I have done events there, but usually my stuff for Tampa is live shows. I do all the stuff for Absolution, like the big goth festival that they have there every October.
And almost anything that's anything in the Orlando scene, Jenny does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the good shit, that's Jenny.
I mean, I do Memento Mori. I do most of Mannequin's stuff. Because Mannequins does other nights, so like they have a drag night and stuff like that, but they do their own stuff. I do most of the stuff for the Friday and Saturday nights.
Yeah. See, it's to do. I don't want to give away tricks of the trade, but I'm gonna go ahead and give away tricks of the trade.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to tell y'all.
I'm not gonna do this, but I'm
gonna. It's done.
Yeah.
Pretty much any event, if you want to take over a city, it's basically a 3-pronged attack. You must have a fucking badass venue. 2, or a badass venue from the point of view of what goths are looking for. You have to know what those criteria are. It's not the best club in town. No. It's not the most popular club in town. That's exactly the opposite.
Yeah, we don't want that.
They don't want that. So you have to know which one to go for. Then you have to have a fucking badass DJ. Okay? And then you have to know what that is. What they're looking for there. And then that DJ has to have a badass ability to produce promotional material. In other words, images that are back in the day, it was things like flyers, all right, and posters. We still do posters. We still do flyers, but a lot of times that's a digital product now. And the same guy that does spins at a club, and the DJ is the fucking star, really. Okay. The same guy who does that tends to not have graphic design skills. Those are very different skills. It's like the lead guitarist and the drummer, or the lead guitarist and the bassist. They're very different, all right? But you have to have at least those 3 elements together. And then the schedule. That'll help too. What night are we talking about? What day? There's schedule domination. There's gothic cock blocking when it comes to the calendar. Okay.
Oh my God! Don't even
How
get me
to
started.
are you cock blocking the competition? Are you working with the competition? Are you at war, or is this an alliance? There's a bunch of different ways, because there's usually the problem is that there's not enough market to be shared effectively, so they start to rob from one another. Okay, that's the problem. So there's always kind of this underworld mob war happening between goth clubs.
I mean, if you have more than, like, it's not just, like I said, in Orlando, I don't think we have, like, a goth club per se.
Yeah.
We have goth nights.
They're in venues.
But they're in venues that, do other stuff like other nights.
Yeah.
Like I said, they're usually, like, all in the alternative area, but you know what I mean? So you have that. So, yeah, there's kind of a problem where the scene isn't really big enough to support, rich enough.
Not bigger, but that's the same
frankly,
thing. There's not enough money there
to support more than one
two, maybe
nights a week. Yeah. It's like, and I know for real, like, we can't afford to go to like 2 or 3 nights a week.
No, not all the time.
So most people can't.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, as much as you might want to.
Yeah, that's $100 a night if it's a couple.
That's what I'm saying.
And if you're a single,
if you drink a lot,
and if you're a single dude and you're trying to schmooze and shit, and they're playing politics at their own level, they're probably spending close to $100 a night too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a player.
I can't believe when I first moved to Orlando, and I was still working, like a job that paid quite a bit. Me and you used to go to iBar almost every night.
Yeah.
Like, even on nights when it wasn't, like, we would go to Grits and Gravy, which was like the old 50s, 60s, 70s night. That was super fun, by the way. We used to go to, like, the indie night. We used to go to, like...
how did we do that?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking about that.
Well,
I'm like, how the fuck?
Our bills weren't that bad.
That's true, because I was still living. I was still living in that teeny ass apartment, which the rent was like nothing.
Yeah.
And so we weren't living together at that time.
Right.
And like I said, I had like a regular 9-to-5 job that actually paid real decent.
And I was basically renting a room. So.
Right. So it's like, so we had a lot more disposable income than we do now, because we weren't.
I was still working in the horse industry and shit. So
yeah.
I was working cash, and I had friends in the club industry, so it was not as expensive for me to get certain things done at that time.
Yeah.
And everybody was younger and fucking wilder, even though I was in my late 30s.
I just can't believe. Yeah, I was in my late 30s too, and I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, 1, how did we fucking afford it?
Yeah.
2, how did I go to work every day and like work like after being out like all night? Because we went out I think we went out almost every night.
Yeah.
We went to iBar Monday
Remember
nights.
how many drinks we would get bought?
Yeah. Well, that's true.
That was another thing.
We would go Monday nights, Tuesday nights, sometimes Wednesday nights, sometimes Thursday nights. Then we go to Venue 13 on Friday nights, and then we go to iBar again for New Wave on Saturday nights. Now, I don't think we went out Sunday nights unless it was a holiday on Mondays.
There were times where I couldn't buy a drink.
Yeah.
Every time I turned around, somebody's buying me a shot. A shot. Remember that?
Yeah.
Shot attack. Fucking fireball shots.
Yeah, because everybody
oatmeal
knew
cookie shots.
Oh, yeah. I remember those.
Fucking snickerdoodle shots. Just Giallo shots.
Yeah.
Just I had one drink and I could never fucking finish it hardly. It was a strong fucking drink, and then I get all these shots, and then that was another time.
I remember that. Yeah.
The scene was richer back then. That was before all this pandemic bullshit. The economy was great.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people have since moved away.
They've
too.
gone, yeah, I think so.
So, and I think some people have maybe aged out.
They were older than us.
Like some people aged out. Because we used to go out with a bunch of people that, and sadly, some of them have passed away also.
Because we were in our late 30s, and a lot of people that were fucking just like throwing drinks our way were 10 years older than us. Sometimes, so they've aged out of the scene. They're in their 60s now.
Yeah, some of them are like,
so they just stay at home.
We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Kaylin Higgins says, did Gothic culture migrate from Europe to the Americas, or was it the other way around?
I think it was simultaneous.
It kind of was. I mean, I think
Depends on where you start counting.
I think most of that's kind of like hard to say because
was New York and London happening simultaneously in the punk scene between the Ramones and the Sex Pistols, which was they kind of had that look. That's kind of where it started, and then Susie. So Susie was the first goth, I think.
I mean, they had a lot of stuff. Most of the stuff that we would recognize as goth rock, like, is probably from the UK.
Yeah.
But a lot of the proto-goth is American.
Yeah.
Like, when you're talking about, like, Velvet Underground and Nico, like, if you want to go back farther, like, the Stooges.
In New York.
Yeah, shit like that. So it was kind of, like, going back and forth.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's hard to say because goth was kind of like an offshoot of punk, and it was also kind of like an offshoot. It was almost kind of like a darker conglomeration of, like, punk and glam.
Yeah.
Bowie and stuff like that, so...
Yeah, England made punk famous with the Sex Pistols. Okay? And it started to become a fashion thing. But the Sex Pistols were also kind of responded to what was happening in New York back when New York was a poor city. It was like Detroit.
When everyone was squatting
there. They were all
there.
fucking poor.
And everybody was playing at CBGB.
Yeah. And it was... Nancy, Sid's girlfriend, was from New York, and she started dressing Sid up kind of like something out of New York, which was a leather jacket, black jeans, spiky hair. It was kind of a more aggressive version of what, like, the dudes from the Ramones would have been wearing. It's not that different. The difference was the hairstyle. Shorter hair versus America. The British had shorter hair. It was spiky, dirty looking, and then they just started going a more trashy route. It kind of became high fashion punk. The Ramones were not real fashionable by my standards. They always looked 70s to me.
Yeah. They didn't look like they just 80s. Had leather jackets and t-shirts and jeans and just kind of long scraggly hair. Yeah. And they didn't really like try to dress up or anything.
Nancy, Sid's girlfriend, was a New York hooker, basically. All right, and junkie. And she liked BDSM type stuff. Well, the Sex Pistols were being founded by a fucking Malcolm McLaren, being funded by him, and he owned a BDSM shop. So
called Sex.
Yeah, and so she started to kind of like, they could get real discounts or get free clothes from there as an advertisement. And she's dressing herself and Sid up in fetish attire from that shop, which helped with the goth punk kind of look. So it was. Look, man, punk was an British-American conjoined effort. I think that's the best way to put it. Even though Nancy helped make the punk. Yeah, Nancy helped with the punk image. And when Sid saw, when John Lydon, also known as Johnny Rotten, he was really the only sane member of the damn band. Really, okay. I like Lydon. I like him to this day. He's a very self-important loudmouth, which I kind of love that in a certain way. He's kind
you're kind of like that too.
Yeah, he's very endearing. He's a smart guy. He's came from nothing, charismatic, and kind of repellent at the same way. But he knew that.
That's a good way of putting it. Charismatic and repellent at the same time. Yeah.
But he's the kind of guy you really could get drunk with and probably have fun with. But you'd probably fight with him.
Yeah.
And he'd probably love that. He probably loved that. He was like that. He said when he saw the way Nancy was dressing Sid, he goes, he looked terrible. That weird vampiric goth look. He called it goth. And I think he's right. Sid was actually one of the first male goths. That's why I would call that goth.
Yeah, even though their music didn't sound like that.
Their music wasn't goth. He just.
But there's, like I said, it's just so much.
Yeah.
John Smith is saying, I would argue Dave Vanian and the Damned invented being goth. Yeah, Dave Vanian.
Too.
And honestly, I love the Damned because they started out as just a straight up punk band, and I love all their old punk shit
they almost became Pink
from
Floyd,
like 1976. But yeah, like as it went on, they got more and more like goth rock, and I was down with it. But I like their early punk shit too. I like that a lot.
Phantasmagoria is almost like a damn Pink Floyd album, like a gothic Pink Floyd album.
It is, yeah.
Really good. But that was later. We're talking about the 70s.
Well, no, the Damned came out in 1976.
Dave Vanian had a vampire style.
Yeah.
But that was late 70s. Yeah. But it was still kind of a joint thing.
Yeah.
It was Anglo-American. It was kind of happening at the same time.
It's just kind of like the whole punk thing. It's like, and the whole goth thing. I mean, honestly, you had, you know, kind of like gothic rock going on in like the late 70s, early 80s, like bands that came out that were influenced by Bowie and then later on by Joy Division and stuff like that. But in the US, particularly in LA, which is a weird thing to think about, but you had kind of like a more glammy goth death rock kind of thing where you had like 45 Grave and Christian Death, and they had like kind of their own sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a darker punk, but also like glam.
Yeah, now in that same British scene, two other the mini bands came here, a lot of them. Okay, Fine Young Cannibals fucking was a great band, but it wasn't goth or punk. It was a new wave. They were great too.
New wave or post. I like to say post punk because that kind of is an umbrella term that kind of like you can sound like anything.
And
just,
if you ever heard, you know the Fine Young Cannibals, they were fucking great. I forgot that dude's name, but he's
Roland Gift.
Roland Gift. He's biracial. He's I think he's British and probably fucking.
He was an actor too. Do you know that?
He was an actor. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
good-looking guy.
He was in some movies in the 80s.
I would probably say he was half white British and half probably Jamaican. When you say he was probably Jamaican?
I don't actually. I feel like I do know, but I
Jamaica.
Don't really remember what it is.
Jamaica was a lot of crossover with England because it was part of the British Empire, and punk rockers listened to and new wave kids listened to reggae. They didn't like other music. They liked their own music, and when they went to a jukebox, they wouldn't play prog rock. They would fucking put reggae in there. But he was like the British Black Elvis. I mean, he did a fucking Elvis cover of fucking Suspicious Minds. It's fucking great. Elvis would have fucking loved that. But getting back to fucking who's goth and who, it was a joint venture. England was a small market, and they would pick up talent, use it for a while and get sick of it and replace it with some other shit pretty quick. And they would throw acts away before really they should have been done with them. You're like, but England's a small place, so it would reach market saturation quickly.
Well, they also had national radio stations.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't have that in the U.S.
So England was throwing away talent. Duran and Billy Idol. Okay. Although I wouldn't say that they threw Duran away. Duran just migrated out of there. They threw Billy Idol away. Generation X was done. But that band did kind of suck. But
I like some of their stuff.
It just that wasn't going to go anywhere. They were right.
Probably not.
That was done. But Chrysalis Records, I forgot which executive it was, saw William Broad or Billy Idol and says, no, that guy's got a lot of talent. We can make something out of him. And they brought him to New York and hooked him up with Steve Stevens, and they're still together. And really, America made Billy Idol. That would have never happened in England.
Well, yeah, he got hugely famous.
He got huge here. And what was great about him is that he was a lot of Anglo-American or our ancestors who came before us. They were coming here and making a new life for themselves, and he used that as kind of like his ticket in. You know, he was basically kissing American ass. It worked though, and he loved Southern culture and was a big fan of Elvis, and he felt a lot of kinship with the South and wanted everybody to know it, and biker culture, and he mixed punk rock and biker and redneck. And New York.
It was a winning combo.
Yeah, and New York and California.
I still like all his shit from New York.
And he
really
later on, you know, he's not a great songwriter. He's got to have a good team with him, and really, you know, the first Billy Idol album, and then Rebel Yell, and I think his best album was actually Whiplash Smile. Charmed Life was great, and then his brand new one that just came out, it's got a couple singles on it that are going to sound like something from Chris Isaak. They're fucking great. Real good. He's good. Real good. Especially for an old man. He's an old man now. Grandfather. When he was young, he was fun, man. Real fun. And you could tell he was bad. You could tell he was doing drugs and shit.
Well, I kind of feel like most of them were back then. Like 99% of the people in the scene. Like even whether they were punks or goths or whether they were just like doing regular ass pop music, pretty much everybody was on drugs back then.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much everybody.
Right. But his videos were great. You know what I mean? It was goth and punk and high fashion and BDSM and fucking motorcycles and porn and everything just kind of, and clubs and drugs all just kind of mixed in together into the same product. It was just, it was good, man. Real good. Good team.
Camp Guy says, would you say that The Who was kind of a precursor to the punk music scene? I'm a bigger Who fan because that's my timeline. I must have come along between The Who and more ragged punk music. Yeah, I think there were a few steps between The Who and what would be considered punk music, I guess. Like I said, I kind of feel like, I really do like The Who, actually, but I do kind of feel like punk more grew out of stuff like the MC5 or the Stooges. Like I said, Velvet Underground, not so much punk, but they were kind of like more proto-goth, proto-experimental. But I kind of feel like, I don't know, I guess listening to it now, there's not really that much difference. But I kind of feel like back in the late 60s, there would have been a rather large gulf between people who listen to The Who and people who listen to the Stooges.
Yeah, big difference.
Even though if you listen to them nowadays, it probably doesn't sound as different as it would have to them back then.
Yeah, the Stooges, Iggy and the Stooges was before punk rock music, but you listen to it and boy, that sounded a lot like
it
punk
is
rock.
very punk rock.
Kinda like
oh man, I was at Mannequins the other night, and Paul Vane, the DJ, he saw I was there. So he played I Want to Be Your Dog. Yeah. And I was like, dude.
Yeah, that's
he doesn't usually play like shit that old, but I was just kind of like, I appreciated that. If he sees I'm there, he'll usually play like Nick Cave or the Cramps.
After I got out of the Army and I was hanging out in Boston, I used to hang out at a place, it's gone now, it's called the Rathskeller. The Rathskeller was an old punk rock club. The Pistols played there. A bunch of bands played there. And I was hanging out with an old punk rock guy, and he was old then. He was nearly 50 then. And his name was Tyrone. The only white guy I ever knew named Tyrone. And he was either friends with the Dead Boys or in the Dead Boys for a while. He was always talking about that band. I didn't even know what he was talking about, but evidently that was like an old American.
Oh, yeah. Stiv Bators, man.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. He was either in it or friends with them. I don't remember, but he was in some other band.
Stiv Bators died. Didn't he get hit by a car?
I don't know.
I kind of feel like he got run over by a car.
But let me say, he was talking about punk rock and where it came from. And he told me it came from the Rolling Stones. But the Rolling Stones you never heard. He said before the Rolling Stones ever really got recorded, this is way back, I guess, early 60s, late 50s. So when they were a live band and they didn't have anything recorded, he says they sounded like punk rock. And that he had actually heard some recordings of early stuff that never got released. It was just stuff that was passed around back in the old underground. It sounded like punk rock. But he said it came from the Rolling Stones.
Well, the thing about punk rock...
The Rolling Stones or the Beatles?
The thing about punk rock
it was Rolling Stones.
Is that essentially what it is, in its purest form, and this is like the Ramones seem to understand this, which is why I think that they're so universal. Punk rock in its purest form is essentially speeded up rockabilly, is all it is. Which, like I said, which is why I like rockabilly as well. It's very, very similar. Like the structure of the music is very similar. It's just speeded up some and kind of like rougher.
I think it was the Rolling Stones. It was a long time ago, and
that sounds right.
He said very, very early Rolling Stones, before there was mainstream recordings of it, it was punk rock. He said it was something you heard in a club, and it was fast and really hard. And it was some of the songs that you would know. And that later on, they kind of chilled out to do those recordings. And it's some of the songs that you even know. But they played them differently live, he said. I don't know if there's anything to it. I mean, that's just what a drunk punk rock guy told me. It might not be true. But he was an old guy.
Yeah.
Back
who
then.
was probably there when it all happened.
Who knew of the old scenes.
Yeah.
He said,
I mean, we were there for a lot of it, but I mean, in the 70s, I was fairly young. I mean, I was old enough to know what was going on, but I was still like pretty young. So
he was talking about early 60s.
That's what I'm saying. I wasn't around back then. Yeah. And my parents were not into... My dad was real into music, but he was into... He's super into the Beatles, and he was really into not so much British invasion type stuff, other than the Beatles, but he really liked Southern rock, you know? Like, he really liked, like, the Eagles and stuff like that. So, but he got me into the Beatles when I was real little. I think that was maybe, like, that was all the records. So we always had, like, music playing in the house. My mom, like, wasn't really into it, but my dad super was.
Now, John said that, wait, hold on. Yeah, Don the Bomb says Stones just did blues cover songs when they first started.
Yeah.
But what he's talking about before they were ever even really signed, before he said that when they were a live band, it says it sounded like the Sex Pistols. He says it was really hard. But then when they started recording that they slowed everything down and made it more palatable to the... But he said that when they were playing live, before they were famous, he said they sounded like the Sex Pistols did. He said, and that they were dirty and kind of ripped up looking, and that they were drunk.
Yeah.
And that
well, like I said, you probably got that more from live shows because I kind of feel like back in those days, if you were doing a recording, maybe that was like a bigger deal, so you try to like clean your shit up. But when you saw like live shows, it was probably like a lot sloppier.
So Ty told me that's where punk rock came from. Now, there may be something to it.
I mean, could be. But like I said, it's just because nothing comes from, it just comes out of nowhere. Everything's influenced by shit that came before. So I think it's like really hard. I mean, it's an interesting discussion to have, and I've had the discussion many times with people. But if people have like other opinions about it, like coming at it, I'm like willing to listen to that because I'm like, hey, you might have something there because I feel like there's probably no real right answer. Because everything's an influence on everything else. So you can't usually ever really pinpoint exactly like when something happened. There was so much influence going on in like so many other directions. And like I said, I don't know, kind of like the history of music in just the United States, what we know about it, there's a whole bunch of other stuff like little bitty scenes and stuff like that was going on that, that maybe people locally knew about, that like nationally they didn't know about, that didn't really get any traction, but that might have been, kind of influential on particular, because the thing about music in particular is that it doesn't really take a lot. Look at, for example, this is probably like the, an example that everybody knows, but like when the Sex Pistols played at Lesser Free Trade Hall in Manchester, they make the joke every single person. There was only like fucking 20 people at that gig, maybe not even that many, but there was only 20 people at that gig, and every single one of them started a band that was like super influential, and there's probably something to that. And I think the same thing happened with, say, the Velvet Underground, who were only known in like super arty, like underground experimental circles in the late 1960s, but every single person that was into that band either started their own band and became really influential later on, or they were in some other like form of art because it attracted, people on kind of like the cutting edge of art, whatever it was, art, music, whatever.
And the Velvet Underground influenced American goth bands
big time. Big time.
Christian Death and Valor and Christian Death with Jeton Dimon and everything. You can hear a lot of. She's basically doing like a much better version of Nico, male and female vocals happening on the same album and stuff. It's good. Real good. And I like Jeton Dimon.
I do as well. She's got a great voice.
Yeah. If you guys don't know who that is, she's just this fetish chick. She's old now, but man, that girl was so sexy when I was a kid. She was in her 40s then. This white blonde fetish.
I love she did kind of like, she almost went, I don't want to say it's like lounge, but it was almost kind of like that kind of style to it. But it still had like a gothic edge to it. And she, like I said, she has a gorgeous voice.
Yeah. Two I recommend is on a Christian Death song called 1983, A Merman or Mermaid I Should Turn to Be. It's a Jimi Hendrix cover. She does a fucking great version of that. You might be able to get that on YouTube. And then she did one called Incendiary Lover.
Ooh, that's a great song.
Yeah, she did that one solo. It's real good.
Yeah, that's a really good song. I have that
blues.
on,
Blues and industrial.
She was actually very blues influenced, I feel like, which is weird to think, but it's not that weird because if you look at somebody like Nick Cave and his old band, The Birthday Party from the late 1970s, they were Australian, but they were really, really into American, like, Delta blues music and old country, like Johnny Cash and stuff, but mixed with punk. So it really came out, and because they were from Australia and they weren't in the culture where those things happened, they came up with like a really interesting
different take on it,
variation.
Yeah.
And honestly, still to this day, the Birthday Party are one of my favorite bands ever. They're not for everybody, but you know, if you like Nick Cave, you know, because he got a lot mellower like as he got older, but I mean, the Birthday Party shit is like really, really good. It's like I said, it's strange. It's kind of like out there, but it's very bluesy, but also like noise punk. It's I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah,
I like
Nick Cave's a trip. Fake Southern music. It's good though.
Yeah,
and it's good, but you know,
he's like really romanticizes.
Romanticizes.
I mean, if his second solo album, which is called "The Firstborn Is Dead," he does a song on it. Well, that whole thing is basically like a fucked up, weird goth blues country album, and it's fantastic. I love it. But the song, like the kind of, you know, the most famous like single from it is called Tupelo, and it's all about Elvis and how Elvis's twin was born dead. Yeah. Like it's almost like this fairy tale telling of it. It's great. Like he's really good at like doing like story type songs.
The Stones did that too, though.
Yeah. The Stones, similar. It's similar.
Stones made a whole career about being fake Southerners. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fake Southern accents and everything. But
well, it's romantic to them because they didn't grow up in
They didn't grow up here. But
I mean, to me, it's just kind of like, because I'm from here. But it's like, if you're not from here, it seems exotic.
Yeah. Wild Horses, the fake Southern song.
I love that song.
Strong fake Southern accents. But, you know, it was accepted in the South. You can go to these fucking biker bars and these Southern... and they'll play that shit, not even realizing that that's a British band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they grew up with it. Wild Horses. You know, and then fucking just... A lot of shit is... Mick Jagger's fucking doing a fake Southern accent. But hey, man, fucking... Starry Night doing fake British accent. Like, it could go either way. You know?
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. Just do you.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want. Down the bottom says The Cure's pornography was probably a big influence on the gothic scene. Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
And actually, that's still, to this day, my favorite Cure album. Although
their hardest album.
Although I will say that didn't come out till 82.
Right.
So there had already been, I mean, Bauhaus had already been making records for, well, they had already almost broken up by that time. They broke up in 83, actually. So they'd already done like a few albums by then. But
so many good Cure albums. They didn't really have a bad album. Wish, I thought it was terrible when it came out, but it aged so well. A couple decades later, I'm like, man, that's a great album.
Yeah, I didn't like it when it came out either, but then, if you listen to it now, you're like, wow, it's really good. Yeah, it was one of those ones that like needed some time to like ferment.
Takes time.
I guess.
No, Pornography, great Cure album. That's the one you want to start with, especially if you're pissed off. That's a very dark album. The Top, I've really loved The Top with Caterpillar Girl, and fucking one of
that's one of their most diverse. I feel like because that had like some weird like Spanish kind of sounded stuff and like punk sounded stuff. Yeah, and then like weird like Tom Waits kind of sounded stuff and like it was crazy.
Some people go on about Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. Fucking great album. Fantastic.
Also quite diverse. I like that they have like a bunch. I know that everybody that doesn't know that much about The Cure, they kind of feel they're all like mopey goth and stuff. A lot of their stuff is, but they have like a lot like of diverse. Especially like on their earlier albums, like you said, "Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me." That is all over the fucking.
Head on the Door was good.
All kind of styles.
Head on the Door was good. Faith was good. They didn't have any bad early albums.
I don't think
Violent
they did.
Mood Swings wasn't bad. It's good.
Was that the one with all the remixes?
No, Violent Mood Swings was 2008, I think.
Oh, okay. I didn't buy that one.
It's pretty good.
I think the last one I actually bought was Disintegration. So that was a long time ago.
Yeah, Disintegration's a great album. South Park considers to be their best album. No. Their best album is probably Pornography.
I mean, Pornography is my favorite. I tend to like their older shit. I like their shit when they were still they were still skinny kids with pimples. Yeah. That were kind of like a weird ass punk band.
Yeah. Boys Don't Cry.
Like Boys Don't Cry. Yeah, that era. Like 1979.
Well, that goes the same with U2. U2's first album, like Boy and War, those were fucking great. Those albums.
And then again, and then later,
fucking highfalutin motherfuckers.
They got a little self-important.
Yeah, motherfucker.
The shit was still good.
It was good, but their last really good album, if you ask me, was Octone Baby. I liked it. It was good.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was mainstream as fuck. But that was good mainstream music for the time.
I would probably like it if I listened to it now. It pissed me off at the time.
It aged very well.
But in the context of the time, like you said, I wasn't a huge fan of U2. I loved their early 80s stuff. Yeah. But after Joshua Tree, I liked Joshua Tree. That's 87.
When Joshua Tree came,
and I was kind of like, oh, okay, I like that, but it's like I didn't really feel the need to like carry on with it. Yeah. Because I wasn't a huge fan of them to start with.
When Joshua Tree came out, I listened to that. I listened to it on the radio. I was like, I can't stand this shit. And but you know what? After the overplay was gone, because they just killed you on the record
all the
time.
Album.
They killed you on the radio with that shit all fucking day. I did not want to hear anything off of fucking Joshua Tree. But then years later, I listened to that album and fucking that's a great album. Bullet in the Blue Sky.
Yeah,
just so many.
I like that song so much better.
That's a great. All the stuff that
did back then.
All the shit that they weren't playing on the radio was fucking great off that album. It was a great album. And then after it's aged well, you can listen to the radio play stuff and go, yeah, it's good. It's good. Because it's not being pounded into you.
I think that might be a big factor. I don't even think that it's just that I'm getting old or shit like that, but.
You're not being bombarded with it.
Yeah, because like back in the 80s, like I liked a lot of shit in the 80s, but I tended to like stuff in the 80s that didn't get played all the time. That's why I liked like a lot of underground stuff, which I still listen to nowadays, because you didn't get sick of it. You didn't, like every time you turn on the TV or every time you turned on the radio, it wasn't on. Whereas stuff like mainstream shit like Madonna and stuff like that was on like all this, like you couldn't avoid it. So you didn't like it as much. Now, it's like a lot of it I still don't like it, but it doesn't piss me off the same way that it did back then because I'm just like, oh my God, shut up. It's like, why? It's like this is always on. And it was just like it seemed like they were shoving it down your throat. But now that you have like some distance from it, I mean, shit, we were at Barbarella last Saturday. And he played at the end of the night, like right before they closed, because usually this is what they'll do. They'll play like new wave, goth, EBM, synth pop kind of stuff, like all night. And then like at the very end of the night, like the last couple of songs, he'll play like, George Michael, I Want Your Sex or Faith or something like that. And then he played Madonna, but I think he played Burning Up, right? Like, so it was like an old... Because our friend Will was there. He's like, man, this is like Studio 54 era Madonna. I was like, yeah, that's, and I'm down with that. I liked everything up to about Get Into the Groove. And then after that, I was kind of like, no thanks. But yeah, because she was kind of like a scene kid prior to that, before she got real famous. But yeah, so they'll play that. And it's like, even nowadays, I'm just kind of like, you can appreciate it. You can appreciate it because you have some distance from it. You're not hearing it every day like you used to back in the 80s. And so you can appreciate it as a song. You actually can, you have it at arm's length. I mean, like I said, even songs that I really did not like back in the 80s because, like you said, they were super mainstream, like Michael Jackson or Hall & Oates or something like that. Because I haven't heard them for so long, if I hear it now, I'm like, you know what, this is a pretty good song. And I don't think it's just because I've gotten older.
No, it's because you're not being bombarded.
Because because honestly, as I've gotten older, I think I've gotten even crankier than I was when I was younger. So I don't think that it's like a case of me getting less cranky. I think it's...
What ruined U2's career, if you ask me, their career did get ruined as a fucking pop band. Even though I imagine that they could make a shit ton. They could probably fill a whole fucking Coliseum.
Oh yeah, they probably still could.
At $1,000 a ticket, they probably still could. But to me, they just kind of... Bono realized that he didn't have to be a rock star. That he could make more money if he just walked around and collected money for charities.
He could be a messiah.
He could just be a messiah. So then he made a living smelling his own farts. And that motherfucker thought he was Jesus. All right? And...
Always
out.
Dangerous.
Yeah,
always dangerous.
I checked out. It was like, dude's a fucking douche.
I mean, when...
he's a douche. He's a douche.
I know.
He's a douche.
And the thing about it is, like, even large segments of population who would agree with him otherwise still think he's a douche. And that's a bad sign. Yeah. That's a bad sign. When even people that are on your side still think you're insufferable.
Fucking
Maybe you need to like tone it down a little bit. Camp Guy said, I read that the Rolling Stones used to have liquor bills $1,000 a week when they were living together and recording, and that was back in 1970.
Yeah,
I'm not sure whether to be
that.
Impressed or horrified.
You have to understand, though.
I mean, that's not
just them drinking.
Well, between...
That's all their friends and all
Is it their friends and crew and stuff like that? Then then it's not that crazy.
Parties.
Then it's not that crazy. And they're probably buying the good shit, too. I mean, I would, too, if I was
If you look into the details, during the time when... during the time when Billy Idol was recording albums like Charmed Life and fucking Whiplash Smile down in L.A., they recorded for nearly 6 months, but most of the time was partying and fucking porn stars, because it was like a studio / it was like an apartment that they were in, or a house that they were recording in, and it was just packed with porn stars and friends, and it was an orgy. And then they would...
A big drunken orgy.
They get drunk, they'd wake up, and the girls were gone, get the fuck out of here, see you guys in a couple days, and then they'd try to record some more, and that shit would go on for 6 months at a time.
I mean, think about it, like I said, if you think about it...
It was a party.
Like, the last time when we were at the old house, and we had a big party...
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how much we spent on booze. I don't think it was $1,000, but it was a lot.
It was in the hundreds.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
It might have been half that. Some people brought their own. I'm not saying like some people did bring some booze, but
man, I had a good layout. Man, it was all Indian food, and it was.
I still think fondly of that party. That was a great party.
The vegetarian stuff was vegan because I knew I was going to have some of them. So
because you had Brian, the vegan black metal chef. Actually, he brought his own dishes as well because he's a chef and he's also a vegan. But we did make some vegan stuff.
You guys can look the vegan black metal chef. He's a buddy of mine. And
that dude's so rad.
Yeah, I fight with him all the time online over fucking the war going on in Ukraine. But he's like, yeah, you're right, man. Fucking Russia is winning. I said, I told you they were going to win. You know, don't listen to what they're saying. This is a David and Goliath thing. Russia's army's fucking huge, and they're only using one small part of it. Anyway, I knew that was going to go down that way. But he's a good dude. He's been on he's been on fucking NBC and shit. And fucking, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he has a channel. He has a cookbook, which I designed, by the way.
Yeah. He dresses up like Gene Simmons from Kiss, and he's got his own YouTube channel, and he'll does black metal songs about fucking tofu
what he's cooking.
And shit. Yeah. But that's not all he does. He's in a bunch of other bands.
Yeah,
they hire. I don't know even.
And he is honestly, like, if you don't know, like, if you've seen like his channel and stuff like that, but he is honestly like one of the nicest dudes ever.
Yeah,
he is seriously one of the nicest dudes you'll ever want to meet.
He lifts too. He's working. He goes, so you're getting a little bigger. Oh, thanks, man. You're the biggest guy I know. No, man, knock that shit off. And he goes, I said, get on the magic sauce.
We just saw him. We just saw him on Saturday.
I said, get on the magic sauce. I says, I don't know, man. He says, you're old enough, man. Get on the magic sauce, man. Get on some tests.
Magic sauce.
Yeah, I call it the magic. Get on some tests and this and that. And he goes, I don't know if that's even vegan. And I says, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know if that's vegan. I got to check.
Well, no, you do have to check because you know, Lord knows what they put in fucking stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. If you've made the commitment not to eat that stuff, you don't want to eat that stuff.
You're not eating it. You're injecting it.
Well, it's still going in your body.
Okay.
That's okay. Like, I respect everybody's fucking decisions, man. You just you do you, and you do the work that you gotta. Well, you don't get it because it's not you. Tom has yet to figure out that everyone in the world is not him.
That's the problem with the world.
I don't think that's a problem. If everyone was like you, we would all be really, really hosed. I'm just saying that right now. Tammy said Bono and Sting need to get together and save the world already.
Yeah,
right?
fucking Sting.
I mean, Sting
isn't much. Bono's a bigger douche than Sting, but Sting.
Yeah, I mean, Sting's kind of like a micro douche.
He's a douche.
He's kind of like a little bit of a douche.
Sting is the spiritual motherfucker that's trying to fuck your wife.
That's what I'm saying. He's more like, let's do like 6 hours of like tantric sex.
Yeah, we're gonna do some tantric sex. I'm gonna sit like.
Which that's okay. He's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, you sit on my cock and we'll listen to my album, and then you'll come.
I love the Police though.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say, and I think he's
a good. Seen that bitch in a long time.
He's a good actor too.
I guess he's totally retired now, huh?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in ages.
I wonder what he looks like now.
I don't know. I haven't looked at him in ages.
He's hiding.
I don't know.
He's probably unrecognizable.
I don't think he's hiding. Didn't we have this very same discussion probably like 6 months ago?
Oh, maybe.
And somebody sent you
what he looks like now?
Like what he looks like now, and he looks totally fine.
Okay.
Like he still is recognizable as Sting.
Okay.
Like he doesn't look like an old fat bald man.
You're right, yeah.
So, I mean, I still think he looks like, he looks older, obviously.
Val Kilmer is unrecognizable.
Well, Val Kilmer has
he
has issues.
Yeah.
Didn't they make that documentary called Val, which I actually kind of want to watch, which is like sort of all about he's got issues. Yeah. I mean, we've all got issues, but Val's got issues.
I think he has mental issues and physical issues.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but Val Kilmer's fucking totally.
Like I said, I'm not hating. Everybody's got issues. It just like depends on what they are. But honestly, Sting, I'm gonna say Synchronicity, their 1983 album. That was the first album, and it was an album. It was on vinyl. That was the first album that I ever bought with my own money. You know what I mean?
I bought other ones before that, but yeah, that was a good album. That's a really good album.
And I loved it. I mean, I had other albums before that, but other people had given them to me, like for birthdays. That was the first one that I got to the store and
I wanted to buy the older albums, but I never got around to buying the older albums. I had some of them on tape.
Well, I
had like greatest hits type stuff. I wanted Ghost in the Machine. I never had it. I don't think I even heard everything off that album.
I got it later, but I don't know what happened to it. I think I had it on tape, and I threw out a bunch of my cassettes because they were all fucking fucked up.
Ghost in the Machine. The other one was Zimbada Bazababa. What's it called? Zimbada Bazababa. What was the name of that album?
Zindada Mundaya?
Zindada Mundada. Yeah, something like that.
Mundaya?
It was the orange album with the triangle, and they're coming out of it. That had a bunch of good stuff on it. I never got around to buying that.
All their early shit was good.
Yeah.
All their early shit was good. I mean, Synchronicity is my favorite, but...
Yeah, and Police came out when we were kids.
Yeah, I think I was only 11 or 12 when I bought that album. And I loved it. I listened to it over and over.
I was in high school when I got Synchronicity. I was like a high school sophomore.
I was in junior high still.
I was in high school.
That was 83. You were in high school in 83? No, you weren't.
No, it's just when I bought it.
Oh, okay. You bought it later.
I bought it later.
I bought it like right when it first came out. So I was in junior high still. Actually, no. I think I was still in elementary school. I was in elementary school.
I bought it. It had been out for a while when I bought it.
Oh, okay. I bought it when it first came out. So I was still in elementary school.
No, because it had Synchronicity 1 and 2 on it.
Yeah.
And
about the Loch Ness Monster.
About the Loch Ness Monster. I kept getting... Well, it was about a bunch of other stuff.
I mean, it's about a bunch of other stuff, but that was what I latched onto.
Stuck in my head, so I bought it. And I loved that album. It had Miss Gradenko in it. Remember that? Miss Gradenko. It had walking in their footsteps.
Walking in your footsteps.
In your footsteps, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff about dinosaurs on there.
Yeah, well, it's about dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's
dinosaurs.
Dinosaur song about dinosaurs. Well, it was more than that too. You just gotta listen. You know, we're making fun of it. But
I make fun because I love.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dom the Bomb.
People sending us money. You guys remember to send us money.
Hi, Jenny. Glad to see your new channel is picking up. I'm really enjoying it so far. Hope everyone here is subscribed. Yeah, go subscribe to my new channel, Scare Salon. I'm gonna be putting up 2 videos a week about horror shit. And I'm going to do a true crime channel, too. I'm hoping to get that up August 1st, but we'll see. I'm editing the first video today, and I already have, like, a whole month's worth of videos, like, planned out, but we'll see how it goes. But I'm editing the first one today, and it's almost done. So, you know. Yeah. But, yeah, Synchronicity, that had... It also had... it had Walking in Your Footsteps. It also had what was that other one? The video with all the candles.
Oh,
God damn it! What the fuck? It just went right out of my. Yeah, what the fuck was the name of that song? It'll come to me like 5 minutes from now. It's right in the tip of my tongue. I mean, that also had like Every Breath You Take on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be wrapped around your
finger, yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Wrapped around your finger.
Yeah, wrapped around your finger. That's a great song.
That whole album was good.
Yeah,
except for the song Mother. I wasn't a big fan of that one.
I love that one.
Although
it's all insane and
I
crazy.
probably like it now.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't like it at the time because I was like, this sounds like it doesn't really go. It sounded like it was like kind of like out of left field. Like
it was it
didn't really go with the theme.
Yeah, about this girl that's taken over your life and she's now just become your mother. That's what it's about.
Well, yeah, I know that, but I think
cigarettes and making you smoke or making you not trying to smoke and your laundry and just it had all kinds of shit. It was a good song, and yeah. But I was always curious about. I'd heard everything off. I'd heard at least one or two songs off of all the other albums, but I never had the albums. We had limited income back then. We were kids, you know, and I didn't really hang out with the group of friends that had Police albums where I could fucking get a tape. So I had to just like put up with getting greatest hits albums, and I got Synchronicity, and that was it. You know, I knew that I would hear shit on the radio, just the way it was back then. You know, it's another era. If you guys
did you have like tape stuff off the radio? You did not
have access. Like today, these kids are spoiled. You can go on YouTube. You have access to all those.
Awesome? God, I wish that we would have had that.
All the fucking songs.
I wish we would have had that.
Back in our days, you had to buy that or get somebody to fucking record.
Or if you had a friend that had it, it's like, hey, can you tape it for me?
Yeah,
so I don't, because I don't have any money.
You don't have any money, right?
So, and I can't afford to buy it because you couldn't afford to just like buy all the albums you wanted. Jesus Christ.
I was buying other albums. I have fucking album collection, fucking that fucking thick. You know what I mean? And then sometimes with your friends, you trade an album.
Yeah.
Look, man, give me that one. I'll give you this one. If you don't like it, we'll trade back. Okay, yeah. And then you never worry about it. He'd never give it back. So I was more worried at that time about metal and goth and albums that were coming out and trying to get the Roger Water albums. I was trying to get Roger Water albums at that time, that was like the Pink Floyd spinoff. I was trying to think of all the other shit that I was trying to get. I was trying to get all the Slayer albums, which were hard to find. You couldn't get Show No Mercy. It was too old. It was out of print. And I think it was on an old Metal Blade album. Metal Blade was the record company that made.
Man, I remember Gwar being on Metal Blade for a while.
Metal Blade was like a little small album.
Yeah,
company
I remember that
that
label.
Would back these obscure fucking.
Like I said, Gwar was on there for a while.
And shit like that.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, at least I had like a few friends in school that were into some cool shit. So like if they bought something, you know, hey, I got this Gene Loves Jezebel album, or hey, I got this, you know, Cocteau Twins or something like that, I'd be like, hey, tape it for me so I don't have to buy it because I wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
Because obviously I couldn't afford, you know, I was still in school, so I didn't have a job or nothing.
And y'all kids are fucking spoiled, man. We had to walk 10 miles to go to school. But y'all spoiled because you have instant availability.
But like I said, that's awesome.
Man, we didn't have that.
I wish we had had that back then.
We didn't have it, yeah.
I wish we'd had that. You guys are really lucky.
We'd have to go to like Harmony House Records and go, I'm looking for this record, this and that. And then they would go through the catalog to see if they could order it. And they go, oh, yeah, no. We used to have it, but we can't get it for you. And no, so that was it. That's a wrap. Can't get it.
Isn't it crazy?
You can get it now, but you couldn't get it back then.
I worked at a record store in the early 1990s, like when I was in my late teens, early 20s. And they didn't have the internet really back then. So somebody came in asking for some obscure shit. You had this massive book. It was like this big.
Yeah.
It was like a phone book, but the pages were blue. And you had to like kind of go through there and see if you could like fucking order it. And then like 50% of the time somebody would come in, and they would order it. And then like you'd order it and then they would never show up to pick it up.
Yeah.
Half the time.
But I saw this little fucking little dweeby motherfucker who was doing some kind of show on YouTube. These fucking silly glasses, and he would hang out with these celebrities and talk about music with them. And this is some time back, maybe 10 years ago. And his guest is fucking Snoop Dogg. And Snoop Dogg's going through his record collection at his house. At this other guy's record collection, all right? And he's looking through, oh, you got that, you got this. Because, you know, Snoop Dogg's about my age. He might be a little bit younger. And you could tell he was from the record era. Because he goes through and he goes, oh, you got Blowfly. Blowfly is
oh my God,
obscure.
Blowfly.
Yeah, and he just goes, this is mine. And he just took it. And he goes, you gonna take my Blowfly album? And he goes, yep. And he handed that off to a fucking...
It's like, well, at least give me a couple fat for that, bro.
No, just took his Blowfly. He goes, no, I got that. That's mine. That's stole his fucking Blowfly album.
How cool, Snoop Dogg. You can afford to buy your own Blowfly.
But the thing is that you can't find him.
Yeah.
Can't find him.
But I mean, Snoop Dogg has a lot of money.
Snoop
I'm
Dogg
just saying,
says,
if you really wanted Blowfly, you could buy some Blowfly.
Snoop Dogg lives down in fucking Miami, and that took place down in Miami.
Do you remember that at Will's Pub a couple years back, Blowfly played there?
Yeah.
They still have the flyer like framed up on the wall. I think we missed it, but
yeah, he's dead now. That's right.
Yeah, he's dead now. But because we were gonna go and then I forgot about it.
Yeah, Blowfly shit is out of print.
Yeah.
You might be some company that has rights to do it, but Snoop Dogg knew exactly what that Blowfly album was, and goes, "Oh, I'm taking this. Yep, thank you." He goes, "What? You gonna take my Blowfly album?" Yeah, I took that. He handed that off to some dude that was with him.
Man, I wasn't random celebrity coming to my house and stealing my Blowfly album. I'll shoot you in the face.
It's a fucking nerdy little white dude.
Who do you think you are?
Nerdy little white dude. He goes, no, I'm taking that.
I don't care how nerdy or how white the person is. I'm not stealing from shit.
Right in front of him.
Especially if I got enough money to buy the shit myself, Snoop Dogg. Go buy your own shit. Don't be that way.
It was hilarious.
That is not classy.
It was hilarious.
That is not classy. Like I said, that's not funny. You wouldn't think that was funny if somebody came in and like took your shit like that. It's like, bye, take it and bye. Oh, you're too weak ass to like do anything about it. Bye.
It was just part of the show. I was laughing. I was laughing.
Hopefully after the end of the show, he's like, just kidding. I'll give it back.
They kept hanging out.
Because I'd be like, oh, you were not leaving your house. Well, you were not leaving my house with that.
They kept hanging out, talking about music.
I will take your head off.
Going through his record collection, talking about this and that and the music. But he took the Blowfly album. Oh no, I'm taking this. That's it. Are you taking my Blowfly album? He goes, yeah, that's mine. That's mine now. Who knows? Maybe he paid for it.
I'm kind of thinking like, hopefully they edited that part out where he was just like, here's 50 grand or something. I don't know. Or here's some really super good weed, whatever the fuck. Adriana C says, excuse me, Tom, did you have a metal look or a goth look back then? Well, how long ago are you talking about? Because
I went through a couple different. By the time '87 had rolled around, it looked like something out of Duran.
Yeah, because we're all in it. Because somebody mentioned earlier about how the new romantic look was really influential on the goth as well. Yeah, I kind of feel like there was a whole.
See if I got any old pictures.
I mean, the new romantic thing that was late '70s, early '80s. Because I mean, Duran formed in what, 1979, right? Yeah, and then their first album, first single, Planet Earth, like came out in '81, and they looked very, very new romantic. You also had like Steve Strange from Visage, and they had Blitz and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of feel like that was kind of like they kind of like sounded like punk or like post-punk, but it was also kind of like a backlash against punk because they're like, well, punk, they're all like dirty and poor and everything like that. We want to look glamorous. So they're hearkening more back to glam.
This is me at about 16. Okay. And I was more
Rick Springfield looking motherfucker.
I was, that must have been 85 probably. And I was just
starting. Look at his eyebrows.
Yeah, fucking high testosterone. I was starting to get into like Sisters of Mercy and Bauhaus around that time. And then later on, it was more kind of like I was more into like more new wave type stuff, like David Bowie and Duran. All the later stuff and more goth type stuff started to come in, but I would say you change kind of rapidly when you're that kid. But I kind of had long hair, like a fucking big mullet type thing, but that was real common in those days.
Yeah, a lot of people.
It's like around 85.
You didn't look that different then.
No, Andrew Eldridge had that from Sisters of Mercy. Pretty much had that haircut.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
I mean.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't considered like. Yeah. Well, we've talked about this before, how the mullet, as emblematic of like redneck culture, that's it wasn't like that in the 80s because you had like new wavy looking people with what would be called a mullet nowadays.
Now that would be me. That was only like 2 years later. So that was about 87. So it gotten shorter hair.
Cut that shit shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never went through a metal phase. I pretty much went from childhood, where I was like mostly like listening to the Beatles because that's what my dad was into. I mean, I even learned to like play piano so I could play Beatles songs and shit like that. And then when I was 9, 10, 11, getting into new wave. Like as soon as MTV started, how old was I when MTV started? 9. So as soon as MTV started, I got all into new wave because MTV, when it first started, they didn't really have a lot of videos, from established bands. So they were kind of looking for content wherever they could get it. So a lot of like maybe like new wave or, kind of bands that were more experimental, they had some video clips and they're like, hey, here, show this. So there was a lot of weirder shit on there back then. So I got really into that. I was like, I jumped right onto that bandwagon. Yeah, Adrian, I see when he was talking about the Sting album and Slayer. Yeah.
What's
yeah,
that?
That's about what he looked like. So yeah, when you were a teenager, like 16. Yeah. I kind of looked like, I looked fairly normal when I was there, but in high school, I didn't start dyeing my hair until later, but my hair was red. I mean, it's naturally red, like coppery red. But in high school, I shaved half of it off, and then I just started wearing like, I don't know, like stuff I got from military surplus kind of shit. Trench coats and combat boots. And then I would just, every now and then I would save up and I would buy shirts from Burning Airlines. You guys remember Burning Airlines? It was in New York, no, it was in New Jersey. And they would send out this little photocopied, stapled catalog. And they had all the t-shirts from like all the weird bands from back then. They had Alien Sex Fiend and they had all that kind of stuff. So if you wanted good shirts, that was pretty much where you had to go. It's not like now where you can just go online and get whatever shirt in the world that you want, or make your own if you would rather do that. But back then you couldn't do that, so you had to go to Burning Airlines. And so every now and then, like whenever I got birthday money or got some kind of money, I would save it up and I would just buy like some t-shirts. So I would just like had the t-shirt, my half-shaved head, and my combat boots, and my trench coat that I got for $3 at a thrift store. That was my high school. That was my high school career. All of that. Listen to Bauhaus and Alien Sex Fiend and Cocteau Twins and all that kind of stuff. All right. So you got to talk because I got to go.
All right.
I got to go to the bathroom.
During that same time, hold on. That was a little bit of that picture that I showed you of me. That was how the Sisters of Mercy looked. So they kind of had that same haircut. Let me show you. See if I can get some more. And I was a huge fan. Okay. It's also the sisters. So they just kind of had long hair and suits with hats. Other than that, it was pretty much, Okay, this is kind of like, where was that one? There was an iconic photo of them. I had this photo of them when I was a kid, and I was like, man, those motherfuckers are looking so cool. And the photo was taken right outside of St. Andrew's Hall, which is a place I was hanging out at in Detroit a lot because the Sisters of Mercy love Detroit. And Gramthars, he's on the line right now. We went to high school together in the Detroit area at that same. Matter of fact, that photograph was taken in Michigan, the one that I showed you. That's a picture of Andrew right outside St. Andrew's Hall. All right, and that is 1985. And you see, he's just got a leather motorcycle jacket on and a long mullet and sunglasses. And it says behind him, adults. It says Detroit's finest adult movies on that thing behind him. That's not because this photo's been cropped. But that in 85 was got this shit. It's just that's aged out. You can't really see his face in this photo for some reason because I got the glare and it's not really focusing on it. But it's just whited out.
Adriana also says, Jenny, did you wear makeup like Susie? Sometimes I did, if I felt like it. But a lot of times I was just kind of like... I always did makeup. I didn't ever go to school without makeup on, for Christ's sake. But sometimes I would do, like, over the top and sometimes not so much. It depended on, like, whatever my mood was that day.
Here it is. There's that full photograph. Come on. Trying to get this thing to full screen, but I guess it won't. What the fuck? Why does technology always raping me?
Probably because you're drunk and you're pushing the wrong buttons.
All this damn
I'd
rape.
imagine. Let's not trivialize rape by comparing it to you pushing the wrong buttons drunkenly.
I'm trying. It just disappeared.
Sounds like a you problem.
It just disappeared.
It's all right. We saw it.
Now I want to show the big picture of it.
Tom wants to show
I want to show the
picture.
big picture of it. But you can keep entertaining. Keep entertaining.
May I? Well, no, I'm not, because then you're going to, like, interrupt.
And I'm going to interrupt.
Adriana said the sisters had the best style ever. They did, and it's like, I kind of feel like...
For a while.
Well, the reason that they had a good style was because I feel like it wasn't, like, overtly a style. You know what I'm saying? Although...
he kind of lost it over time, and the Mission picked it up. See, when they broke into two bands, that first, if you like early Sisters of Mercy stuff, you'd like the first few Mission UK albums. They're really good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the UK they're just called the Mission, but over here they're called the Mission.
Here they're called the Mission
because there was already a
already a Mission here.
Yeah,
but the Mission was really good.
Honestly, like, I like the Mission. Like, probably Wasteland is my favorite song of theirs, but I never really... Their stuff, to me, was almost going to, like, U2 territory.
Some of it. Later on, yeah.
I always liked Sisters better. Even though Sisters, I mean, by the time, like, the late 80s, early 90s came along, they started going in a more glam metal direction, which I also wasn't a fan of. Although I do like Vision Thing. But what was that, 92? That was 92, right?
Yeah, that was 90s.
Yeah, that was 92.
That was 90s. Floodland was not a bad album.
No, Floodland's good.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, I mean, Floodland is still a good album, although I think I prefer First and Last and Always, just because Floodland has been so... If you go to a goth club, I will give you $50 if you go to, like, a goth club and don't hear This Corrosion or Lucretia My Reflection or one of the songs off Floodland. They're gonna play one of those motherfuckers. I mean, it still happens. And that album came out in 1988, for Christ's sake.
When it comes to the Mission, this is the album you want to get. You want to get that one. It's called The First Chapter. And that sounds a lot like First and Last and Always. Real similar. And then like a couple albums after that. Still good. Now, God's Own Medicine was pretty good, but that was one of the first albums that kind of started to sound a little bit like U2. But I went back and listened to it more recently, and I was like, yeah, this is good.
I probably appreciate it more now than I did at the time. Because I kind of feel like at the time, there was way better shit.
Right.
You know, I was kind of like, that's a little too mainstream sounding.
It had a mainstream vocal sound to it at the time.
Yeah, and so I didn't really like it. But if I listened to it now, I'd probably like it. Because I did like some of Mission's, like I said, they were earlier stuff. Yeah. But I was more a Sisters person.
Yeah, after fucking the Mission started getting into the late 80s, early 90s, the vocals sounded like Bono. It sounded like Bono from U2. It had a sound kind of like U2. Now, I think they might have been a little bit related.
No, you're thinking of the Virgin Prunes.
The Virgin Prunes were cousins to the guys.
Yeah, the guy in the Virgin Prunes was Bono's cousin. Although the Virgin Prunes are way better.
I think the Virgin Prunes and fucking the Mission, I think they might have known each other. So I think there's like, I think they're the same
that
group.
might have been, yeah. But I mean, I'm gonna say the Virgin Prunes were a lot better.
Virgin Prunes are good, yeah.
Than the Mission. Yeah. I mean, because they. As far as I know, like, from what I know of the Virgin Prunes, they kind of, like, stayed weird.
They were goth.
They didn't really go into, like, they did some weird-ass shit.
It was like Hobbit goth. Okay? Although they had some club stuff, like fucking Baby Turns Blue.
But that's a great fucking song.
Yeah. Was it called Baby Turns Blue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Baby Turns Blue, yeah.
That's a great song. That's a great song. I love that song. They don't play that at clubs now, though.
No, they don't fucking play. I'm going to request that shit.
You should.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking song. And that's one that doesn't get played a lot, like from back in the day.
Used to play it at Man Ray in Boston all the fucking time.
I think I heard it once or twice. Oh no, I don't think I've ever heard it in a club in Florida.
Give me money, give me sex, give me something, cigarettes.
Give me food and cigarettes.
Give me food and cigarettes, yeah. Oh,
but I heard it when I was at Drop Dead Festival. Yeah, they played it there. But like I said, that was more death rock oriented, so they're going to play more Virgin Prince because they were more a death rock band. But yeah, they did some clubby shit too. Just like 45 Great, but you know what I mean.
Spock says, love your content. Y'all keep it up. Spock's holodoc. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Camp Guy said, sounds like my mother when she was trying to save a Word document. She would call me on the phone and say, I worked on that document for an hour and it just disappeared. I was not good at talking to my elderly parents on the phone when they had computer problems. I mean, I feel like at this stage, if you haven't figured computers out by now, you're probably not going to.
No. You're going to age out without computer skills.
You're going to, yeah. I mean, there's shit I can't figure out on there too, but I mean, I grew up with the shit when we didn't have Windows. I started using computers when I was 8, when there were still floppy disks, when it was still Apple IIe, when you still had to program all the shit yourself, and I've used computers like steadily since then, so I can usually figure shit out. It might take me a minute. But my goal is to not be one of those old people that it's just like, how does this work? I just don't want, I never wanted that to happen to me. I never wanted that to happen to me. I can figure most shit out. I mean, so, well, most of it makes sense. If you grew up with it like I did, then most of it is not. And to be honest, like nowadays it's a lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah. If any of y'all have any questions about any cases or anything paranormal or true crime, go ahead and drop us something in the comment section. We're always open for fucking super chats. Motherfuckers got lawnmowers to pay for and rent. It's the lawnmower mandate.
Yeah, $3,000 lawnmower.
For the damn lawnmower.
You are on the hook. Well, we're on the hook now for $3,000.
Well, we would have had to spend it in the lawn crew expenses anyway.
I know.
Yeah. And this bitch, this is a Husqvarna. Got me a Husqvarna. It was only a few $100s more.
With a cup holder.
Got the cup holder. Well, they all had cup holders. They knew who they were fucking selling these things to. They knew who they were selling them to. Got the 749cc fucking V-twin engine in it. Air cool.
At least our yard isn't that weirdly shaped.
Yeah, it's not that weird. It's
pretty much one big
basically one
rectangle.
Acre. One and it with some angles on it. Okay.
Well, in the front there is kind of like an angle-y. Yeah.
Do y'all want to talk about anything paranormal? Want any UFO stuff? Lately, I've been getting back into the Phoenix Lights, and I found
talk about
sources that actually lead back to the original source material, not the videos of the flares, but the actual fucking triangle with the lights in it. I found that. I started getting into the dude who did all the original research for it. I think he's dead now, and he did a great job. I was listening to a radio show that he put up. They have 5 witnesses that saw it. One of them was a cop. The last one was a man of your station. He wouldn't name him, and just went. If you knew who this was, and I think it was Governor Fife Symington who was talking about it.
Who will remain nameless.
Yeah, who will remain. Yeah, I'm pretty sure by the voice.
Just like to keep from getting sued.
It was Governor Symington, I think, before he came out and admitted to it. But the original Phoenix Lights event, I'm convinced, happened. Too many people saw it. Too many people called in.
Well, yeah, we did a show about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Too many people saw it. Thousands and thousands of people.
I don't know if it was necessarily aliens, but enough people saw it that it must have been something or other.
There's one witness on there that got furious, saying that there's no other way, that the thing was at least a mile across, wingtip to wingtip. And that one of the sighting areas, it had 10 people. 10 people came forward in another area of the town that said they were in a crowd of people. Each one of them said they were in a crowd of people that saw a certain event happen, and they were the only ones out of that crowd that said anything. Only 10 of them. So only a small fraction of the people that see these things actually report them. They didn't want to talk about them. And the weirdest event is that 10 people in different locations, Okay, but in the same general area, said they saw 3 of those chevron-shaped black triangles with lights on it. 3 of them stack on top of each other, one above the other, like pancakes. And they saw military jets come up, look at it, and then the 3 stack turned into a ball of white light, and then it vanished. And it says nobody wanted to talk about that, and even when you wanted to go on a show, those people that wanted to go on a show, the shows wouldn't accept them. They saw 3 of them stack on top of each other, and then a ball of light, consumed by a ball of white light, and then it faded away as a jet fucking approached it. And this is back in the 80s. Unrelated witnesses. Yeah. I'm thinking something kind of like the monolith out of fucking 2001. 3 of them. And they just kind of stacked on top of each other and then just wormholed themselves away. You know?
That's funny. They didn't like stack like Voltron.
He said that they stacked like pancakes. They stacked one on top of the other like pancakes.
Or like a Jenga game.
And then were consumed by a ball of white light that faded away. And they were gone. Now, most scientists who were big into this said that really alien technology, if it was really significant enough to be truly alien to get here across the Gulf of Space, anything that their technology would seem like magic to us. And that's what that seems like. Magic. It was something that we couldn't really fathom. And that wasn't a concept that that wasn't really a concept back in the late 90s that you would really come up with. Yeah, they stacked up on each other like a set of pancakes and then just vanished in a ball of light.
Pancakes.
Like they wormholed away.
Yeah.
Weird. That would sound very fucking bizarre back in those days, but more plausible now. With quantum theory and stuff. Already you have people in universities saying that there's more than one fucking physical dimension. Just something you just slipped away into another dimension. Weird.
I don't know if I would like that.
Yeah.
What if you just like one day woke up in another dimension and you're like, God damn it, where the fuck am I at now?
Here's the thing. We see something like that's a mile across, wingtip to wingtip. We say, well, it's a spaceship. I think that might be a very primitive concept. I don't think it's a spaceship at all. It's something else. I think it's just a fucking living... I think it's more like the monolith out of fucking 2001. A living being that is a machine. That's what I think it is. I don't think there's anything biological in it. Something truly superior.
Next Dimension Media said, I've been getting into Skinwalker Ranch on History Channel.
Yeah.
Watched your episode on it from 3 years ago the other night. Seeing you guys in the old house looked weird.
Yeah, did it?
Honestly, if I ever go back and watch stuff from our old house, especially before we had like all the shit painted and decorated and
good
stuff,
microphones.
And good microphones, yeah, it is like really weird.
Yeah,
it is pretty. And before we had like decent lighting and shit.
Yeah.
Not that this is all that great, but it's like it's better
than it was.
It's way better than it was.
You guys don't even get the view that I'm getting, man, because I'm seeing nothing but just sexy legs and titties. You're looking good, man.
I got my short skirt.
You're looking good.
Well, I just pulled out whatever skirt was like on the hanger, and I was just kind of like, I have long ones and short ones.
Jenny's been working out. She's on diet. She's building back up. Looking good.
I rode 20 miles on that fucking bike.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Today.
Let me get you some Winstraw.
And some weights.
I'm going on Winstraw cycle in a couple weeks.
I don't care about that. I'm just
okay. That'll help you though, if you want to go.
That's what. Yeah. So you said.
Just tiny amounts. Help accelerate things.
But yeah, like I said,
good for endurance.
And and I'm like I said, I'm trying to like not because I'm one of those people, unfortunately, that I so much as like sniff some food and I gain weight. So I pretty much have to. It's crazy because I watched a lot of these videos. I don't know why I'm so fascinated with this. I think I've brought this up before. I'm fascinated with these channels. There's a whole subgenre on YouTube of people that are like, eat for $15 a week or whatever, like feed a family for however little from Dollar Tree or whatever. And they're like showing like stuff to make. And I'm like fascinated by those ladies. And so the women that are on there, it's just kind of like, well, it's like I ate for, $5 for 3 meals a day or whatever. And it's like, oh, it was only 1,500 calories. I'm like, 1,500 calories? That's a lot.
Yeah.
I can't eat that many calories a day. I will get fat. I was like, I don't know. Like, maybe, like, other people are different. I really envy people that can actually, like, eat food.
Yeah, I don't think I eat that 50.
And not get fat. Because I eat more than 1,000, 1,200 calories. I guarantee you I will get fat.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm eating that.
And people, and I've seen, like, people say, like, oh, 15, 16, that's not really enough. I'm like, bitch. I mean, it's probably not enough for you, but it's like if I ate 1,600 calories a day, I would weigh 300 pounds.
But we gotta factor in, like, when we're doing shows, how much we're drinking, and if you're drinking
that
soda.
That too, but we don't do that. Like,
yeah,
I don't drink soda. I just drink water.
Right.
We drink, but we only do this once, twice a week, and the rest of the time,
I drink a lot of protein shakes.
I try not to eat
vegetables.
I don't eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Because I try to do like the 14, 16 hour fast. If I've eaten the night before,
I think you're doing about 900 calories, probably.
I think it's probably about 1,000. I try to keep it around 1,000.
Yeah.
I'm hungry, but I'm not starving. And honestly, just from my own personal experience, look, I'm like almost 50. I've done this before. From my own personal experience, if I go much over 1,000 calories a day, I will start to get fat. I don't like it. Right. I'm not a fan, but that's just what happens.
Look,
that's what happens.
A lot of people don't understand this. Some people are born with metabolisms that do that, but a lot, which you may have been slightly like that from birth. I don't know if it's genetic. A lot of Southern.
I think it is actually because the whole mom side of my family is we're all kind of like that.
A lot of Southern genetics are kind of like that.
Yeah.
Short and squat, and they gain a lot of weight. And it comes from those are the people that survive famines. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like, unfortunately, I'm not in a famine situation. If I was, I'd be set.
Right.
But
because the South got starved out.
Unfortunately.
South got starved out twice during the Civil War and also during the Depression. All right. So if you had a metabolism that was real good at keeping weight on at a very low caloric intake, then you passed that test. All right. I'm kind of like that. Not that much.
I am big time like that.
And
but the sad thing about it is that I have that.
Yeah.
And I also love food, and I love to eat.
Southern food is very fattening.
It is, yeah.
Okay. It's also very good, but it's very fattening. Southern food outside the South is called soul food. All right. It's not. It's Southern food. Black people and white people eat the same food in the South, pretty much. Okay, so it's funny, soul food. I mean, this is soul food? Well, shit, I guess I'm black because this is what fucking we grew up with eating, black eyed peas and fucking cornbread and fucking,
collard
greens and...
Yeah, my grandma used to make all that.
Succotash. Fucking,
And she was white, white as shit.
Yeah. It's, But anyway, no. So anyway, the... And then also the Southerners tend to eat a lot of sugar. Okay. Fucking left to their own devices.
I really try to not.
A lot of high carb. All right.
Because like I said, even in my coffee, I have 0 calorie sweetener. Yeah. I drink 0 soda.
Right.
All I drink is water.
Yeah.
Sometimes liquor. Water, and you make tea with 0 calories.
There's a lot of crossovers between...
I drink 0 soda, ever.
There's a lot of crossover between American Southerners and Mexicans. Mexicans are the same way. Mexicans are fucking short, like us, and they'll fucking gain weight quickly.
Uh-huh.
You look fucking great until you're 20. And then you're fat and you're pregnant.
That's what I mean. You can get away with it. Well, honestly...
25 and you're fat and you're pregnant.
I mean, when I was a little kid... I was skinny when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
The second I hit puberty, like when I was 11 or 12, I started to chub out.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ate all that much because I wasn't, like I said, I never was into soda. I didn't like real heavy gravy type. I wasn't really into all that. But as soon as I hit puberty, I just started chubbing out.
Yeah.
And it's just been like a constant struggle. My mom had the same thing. It's just a constant struggle to just keep from getting fat. And I really, really have to watch it. I can't just eat whatever. I just can't.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but
the Mexico and Central America and the southern regions of the United States all had a lot of famines. It didn't matter what your ethnic background was, famines happened. So selective breeding, I guess you could say, by famine and caused certain.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, my body just is like it hangs on to every calorie.
Yeah, right. I go up north, I feel short. If I'm down south, I'm around a bunch of fucking Central Americans and Southerners. I'm normal size. Yeah, I'm like normal size. Like we were out fucking watching the damn Sisters of Mercy cheerleading band, and we've got two Mexican dudes going crazy over this.
Oh my god, that Mexican
remember that dude? I don't think they spoke English. They were from fucking either Mexico or Honduras or fucking
into it.
Way into
I mean,
it.
which I respect that.
Right.
I was just kind of worried because I thought he was going to accidentally plug me in the face because he wasn't really paying attention.
Mexican goths are way into Sisters of Mercy. Way into it. They know all about it. Fucking Sisters of Mercy fucking tours in Central and South America. They'll fill a whole
There's a massive goth following.
So this dude's losing his fucking mind.
He was, yeah.
Mexican dude
Next
was
to
losing
us.
his mind over a tribute band. Okay, yeah. But it's
the
funny.
whole time. It was like so funny.
But it's funny, fucking little short motherfucker's fat. I felt tall around these people. That's all right, man. We're short too. But yeah,
like I said, it doesn't occur to me because I'm 5'2", 5'3", something like that.
And I'm 5'6".
I'm a little bit taller with my boots on, but I'm just used to being like a short ass motherfucker. Usually everybody's taller than me.
I go up to the Mexican market and they got a restaurant right there. I'll be the only American guy in there, and fucking at 5'6", I'm one of the taller guys in there. A lot of guys are 5 feet, little bitty dudes. Hard workers though. They're in there working on these farms, And
you can't help your height, really.
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of like one of those things you can't too much about.
Yeah, and we don't really have. They're not illegal. They're all legal. They're all here legally. We got seasonal workers that come in, so they're not hiding or anything. They don't have to hide from immigration or anything. They're just walking around fucking proud. I'm here making money. They're friendly, real friendly. Working on horse farms and cattle farms here.
Yeah, it's just, but that's. I was just laughing thinking about that guy.
Yeah.
Because I don't think, I don't think we talked about the show, about the show that we were at last Saturday.
Yeah, those dudes are fucking losing it. Yeah,
man, that dude was.
And I was like, dude, man, go over there, go stand over there. And he's like, no, it's okay. And then he goes back to the fucking.
Well, like I said, I was worried because.
Yeah.
Not because, I respected that he was, super into it.
Yeah.
But I was like, this dude's legit gonna, hit me right in the fucking, and break my nose.
I know,
without even, realizing
trying to keep
doing.
him in a safe distance without trying to get mad. But I didn't want to get mad at him, you know what I mean? He was annoying me, but I didn't want to get mad because...
Well, he was annoying me, too, but I was just like, look, he's so happy.
He was happy.
He's so happy.
He was happy.
And it's I didn't really want to, harsh his buzz, you know what I'm saying? Because he was, clearly, so into it.
Yeah.
But I was just I kept scooching over. I was like, please don't break my nose. Please don't break my nose. Without. And can we also talk about the person? I'm pretty sure this person comes to a lot of shows at Will's Pub because I think I saw them at.
Oh, cameraman.
Yeah, I think I saw them at the Asari Night show too.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
So we were kind of up in the front. I don't know what this person's deal is. But I've seen them there at Will's Pub before. I haven't seen them anywhere else, so it must just be a Will's Pub thing. And it must just be a live show thing. Because they came to a Starry Night as well. But they were at the Temple of Mercy show. This person, they're older. How old are they, do you think? I didn't look at
60.
them that close. They've got to be in their 60s.
60.
I thought it was a woman, but he said no, it's a man.
It's a man who
he has just really long gray hair. I was like I said, I wasn't really looking that close.
He is one of the, he's I think what they would call what do they call it? Gender non-binary. That'd be a good way to put it. That's the politically correct way to put it.
Well, maybe, but I said,
he was non-binary decades ago.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I didn't really I wasn't looking that close. I was like, oh, maybe it's a woman, but I wasn't really I was just whatever. So
biological male.
What they're doing is they have a cell phone, right? Yeah. And they're filming the band, which is not weird. A lot of people do that.
Doing this with it.
But what they do, they come to the front, and he's like,
yeah. Yeah, couldn't understand it.
And I'm like, are you trying to throw the phone at them?
Yeah.
Or
throwing the vision?
Are you trying to get like some artistic shot? Like, I couldn't understand what they were doing exactly.
Man was an idiot.
I mean,
he was an idiot.
They were filming, they were like...
Okay, that is the good story that you brought that one up. I forgot about phone thrower. Phone image.
And I was just kind of like, look, whatever. Like, you do you. You're not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like looking at them going like, what exactly are you trying to accomplish here?
Adriana says, Tom, can someone get in shape just using a walker? Well, I had to have more context with that. Are we talking about a young person or an old person? A young person who is injured, an old person that is not in good shape? So there's not enough information there. Can a person get in shape with a walker in general? I'm going to say no. No.
Well, it depends on what you mean by in shape.
Yeah, and how do you define in shape? You talk about fucking ripped, fucking strong, someone that made a damn difference? No. Now, you're talking about another person who's fucking 300 pounds and they have to fucking lose 100 pounds over the next fucking year or something? Yeah, you probably could. But that's not in shape. Okay? I don't even consider myself in shape. All right? I'm still fucking maybe 16, 17% body fat. Me in shape would be more like 10. I want to be 10. I don't want to be 5. 5% is fucking not healthy, but 10. That's abs, no fucking fat, really. No, you know what I mean? No little, like no pinching things. I can still pinch an inch type deal. I don't want any of that. That's in shape to me. At least on a man. A woman's different. They have a different body makeup. Fat looks better on a woman. As long as it's in the right places. But so does muscle. Muscle, to me, looks great on a woman. But it's got to be a right amount. I like big legs, big butt, good waist. It doesn't have to be super small, but a good waist with good shoulders, good boobs, nice arms, which that really can be maintained into your 70s. So my tastes are not unrealistic. Now, could that be done in your 70s by normal means? No. It's going to take hormone replacement and steroids. But therapeutic doses, not competition doses. A human can hold themselves together with false teeth, canes, wigs, fucking working out. Just little tweaks here and there over time makes a difference. It works. I'm nearly 55. I go into a fucking biker bar with dudes my age, I blow those motherfuckers away. And they'll tell you, I have guys come up, boy, you're in really good shape. And you're older than us and you're in good shape. And they're in their 20s, 30s. And I'm like, thank you. I worked for it, but I did the right things. Chemistry has a lot to do with it. Your blood chemistry has a lot to do with it. Your hormone levels. Young people look good because they have good hormone levels. When those go away, you're going to have to inject them. And you'll look like that, kind of. Kind of. You'll have a similar shape, or better.
Well, it's always interesting to me because, like I said, I guess genetically, I was one of those people that as soon as I went through puberty, like I said, I started, like, chubbing out. So I always hear these stories of, like, oh, man, I looked so good when I was in my 20s. Like, I could eat whatever I wanted. I didn't gain weight. And I was like, that must have been nice for you. Yeah. I never had that. In my teenage year, like I said, as soon as I hit puberty, like 11, 12 years old, I started getting fat. Yeah. So,
hormones.
Yeah. So I never had that lovely period where you're in your teens or 20s where you could eat whatever you wanted. You didn't really have to exercise and you still looked fantastic. I never had that. Yeah. I did not have that.
You were kind of like a lower testosterone female.
I never had that.
Probably higher in estrogen and not real good in progesterone. That's genetics, which that might work well in a situation where you were coming out of families that went through starvation periods.
Like I said, if I was in a zombie apocalypse, I would own.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately, not
you weren't
so much.
built to be around food.
No.
You were built to be around starvation.
Not. Yeah.
Okay. But
it's not a fun time for anyone, especially not for me.
Yeah. There are a lot of ways to fight that, though. Diet, exercise, hormone supplements.
But I mean, happily, the thing about it though is like if I go a few days eating a minimal amount.
Yeah.
The first few days are miserable. But after that, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
And then it's not so bad. Then I don't really get hungry or anything like that. You know, I'm not like one of those people that gets like super hangry or anything like that. It's like, you know, it's not too bad. You just have to like put up with a few days, like 3-4 days where you're kind of like, oh my God, I'm dying. Like, I feel like I'm going to pass out. I'm like super hungry, everything like that. But after that, it's fine. It's fine. You can still eat. You just have to keep it, or I just have to keep it around 1,000, under 1,200, ideally. Because more than that, and I'll start gaining weight.
She's from Florida here. That's Lauren Lopez. I think she's 52 years old. If I show you her at 30, you'll laugh. She didn't look anything like that at 30. Okay? And that is hormone supplements, working out, and small amounts, or what you call therapeutic amounts of anabolic assistance. A little bit of fucking, the right kind of steroid. Certain steroids women can take, other women can't. I'll show you a before and after picture. Here we go. That's the difference between 35 and 48. Big difference.
Yeah,
and
but
the average person
she wasn't fat.
No,
though,
she wasn't fat.
then.
No, she wasn't fat. She wasn't fat. But there's a
It's
big.
not that big of a difference.
But the thing is that's 48.
Yeah, but like I said, it's not really that big of a difference.
No, it's a big difference. Because the average person at 48 would, if the average woman at 48 would never look like that.
What I'm saying is that she had, it's not like she was way overweight or, I mean, she was in shape when she was 35.
Yeah, she was, but she got older.
So,
she got older though.
So she didn't have as far to go as somebody that was 35.
But that's not weight loss. That's not weight loss. That's not what you're seeing. What you're seeing is you're seeing someone who defied age.
Yeah.
Okay. 48 is supposed to look pretty goddamn fucked up for the average woman. Now, that was not natural. No way. Hormone supplementation and small amounts. Really, she doesn't lift that much. I've seen her routine. She doesn't lift that heavy. But that's hormones. 48. You guys can attest, the average woman at 48 looks nothing like that. The average woman at 48 looks like those 48-year-old women at fucking the Oasis. That's the average. And that's really not genetics. She's had 2 kids. That's fucking hormones. And working out. That's not normal. There's nothing normal about that.
Well, I'm a little bit older than her. I'm 49.
You're older than her?
I'm 49.
Right. Yeah. But she's 53 now. She still looks like that.
I found a video the other day that was recommended to me. It was from a channel that I don't subscribe to, but it was like a good channel. And it was called Did People Used to Look Older? Because this is something that we used to talk about a lot. And he came to the conclusion, he's like, yes and no. He's like, some of it might be just perception because of like the hairstyles and the clothing and stuff like that. Because they said you have to think that the people, like what they wore back then for young people, now like they kept wearing it like all the time, so now we associate that with like old people clothes because that's what they wore when they were young, and that was a long time ago. So he's like, so it might be like 50% that, and 50%, you know, our nutrition is better, we don't smoke as much, we don't drink as much, we don't go out in the sun as much, like, or if you go out in the sun you at least wear sunblock. So it's like we are a lot more aware of health and like things that make you look older, which they weren't back then. So it's like, so he kind of came to the conclusion that it was like 50-50, but it was like a good video. He kind of went off on some tangents, but it was like really interesting, I thought.
Now,
but it's just called Did People Look Older, like back, or something like that.
That amazing motherfucker right there is the Arnold before Arnold. That's Steve Reeves. And I believe this photo was probably taken in the very early 60s or maybe late 50s. All right. Is that attainable naturally? Fuck no. No. That's testosterone. It's testosterone and maybe very early steroids, but not very much. Okay. That dude's a half or 1/3 the size of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's not that big. It's just the It's just the definition and the that's what he really looks like. It's really not extreme.
Well, I mean, Steve Reeves was in a bunch of Hercules.
He was in a bunch of Hercules.
Everybody.
But that's nowhere near the size or the extreme level of, say, what Arnold was. And Arnold was kind of considered small for bodybuilders of today. But even back then, they could achieve things. You know, they knew about it. But only some people knew about it. So if you ask me, that's the archetype. You don't want to be any bigger than that.
What are we looking at? Nothing.
No, same thing. Same thing. Same thing.
You stepped on my toes.
Steve Reeves. You don't want to be any bigger than that. No bigger than that. Anything bigger than that might hurt your health, and he lived way into his 70s.
Man, my shit's empty.
I'll get you another one.
You're almost
yeah, I'll get one too.
Finished too. But yeah. It's like, you know, I don't know. It's just I don't know. My cross to bear, I guess. Adriana brought up Lacrimosa, the German goth band. Yeah, I've heard of them. They're actually really, really good. Slash Fred said there was a radio station that I used to listen to called K Earth 101. They used to play music from the 50s and 60s. Yeah, see, I like a lot of that stuff. And honestly, like, it's easier to like stuff when you're... I don't know if this is true for everybody, but I kind of feel like it's easier to like stuff when you're a decade or two removed, because you don't, like I said, one, you don't have the cultural context, so you can come to it, you know, without any preconceptions, I guess. And for me, I tend to like stuff, even stuff that I didn't like in the 80s or 70s and 80s when I was growing up. I tend to appreciate more now because I'm not hearing it all the time. Like, so it's not like oversaturated. So I can appreciate it more on its own merits rather than it having all of this baggage around it. So I have found myself appreciating stuff that I really, really hated, like back in the 80s. Like, I don't say I love any of it, like that I would buy any of it or anything like that. But it's like sometimes I'll hear it on the radio, you know what? That's a pretty good song. That's a pretty good song. Even though I hated that back in the day, it's like I appreciate it more now. But I think that's because you don't hear it every day. I just think that's why. Next Dimension Media said, someone on Facebook asked what the phrase Kojak with a Kodak means. Man, I feel old now. Well, I probably feel even older than you because I don't think... I mean, I can extrapolate what that probably means, but I don't think I've ever heard that phrase before. Maybe I'm like really out of it. I don't know. Camp Guy says, tell me about that t-shirt. I'm presuming you're talking about Tom. I can't wear a muscle shirt. I'm an ectomorph, so my arms are not that beefy. Yeah, I mean, ever since he started working out, it's like all he does is wear muscle shirts now. Like every time we go out, he's like always wearing muscle shirts. But that's like one of the newer ones that we made, those Carol Co ones. And let's see. Man, I feel like I'm like way behind with the chat. Oh, I wanted to like address this a little bit. Dom the Bomb says, and I think he left because I think he went to bed because it was very late at night where he was. He said, my cousin used to tape the top 10 every Sunday in the UK back in the 80s. She made sure to pause the tape between the adverts to skip them. Yeah, I mean, me and my friends used to do that. We couldn't afford to buy all the albums, but like sometimes they would play good shit on the radio. So every time like a good song came on the radio, you'd always have like a tape in there like prepared. And so like as soon as you'd push play and record, and then yeah, like a lot of times I used to make mixtapes for a lot of my friends back in the old days because I was like the music dork back then. So I would always kind of like make mixtapes. It was so much better when I was able to like buy cassettes and buy CDs like in the 90s, and then you could actually make tapes that didn't have ads on them where you had to like cut off the shit like where the ads were. So, you know, that was nice. But
see Pookie.
What's she doing?
Pookie's in the tree in the bowl, just fucking with her feet up, and then she's got her hand like this. She's just licking her hands, and then looking at it. It's just funny. You know what I mean?
That little baby.
She's fucking does all kinds of funny shit, and she's looking at me like, what? What are you doing in the bowl? She's well.
She likes the bowl.
Yeah.
It's a little fuzzy bowl that she sleeps in. It's exactly Pookie size.
Last night I was fucking camping out in the man cave, listening to old Art Bell stuff, and listening to.
While I was watching Riff Tracks.
She's watching Riff
and
Tracks.
falling asleep.
Yeah, and I'm in there and listening about the fucking Phoenix Lights, and I'm up on a little fucking army mat in my fucking little thing, my little cake, not cake, you got in a little tent, and Pookie comes up and lays on my arm and looks at me. Why are you sleeping out here? Sleeping out here, Daddy? She's just so we're
Why are you on the floor?
I'm drinking tea and shit. And she's looking. She'll look at my tablet. I'll put my tablet up and I have a couple little fucking soup cans behind it, like fucking, because I'll have my fucking rations and shit. Have the soup cans up like that.
Like propping it up.
You're propping it up like that, and she'll look, and she's looking at the faces talking. She can see them.
Look at those tiny people.
Yeah, look at those little people. So I'll pull my earplug out and I'll put it in her ear, and she'll be listening and looking at it, and she'll look at me. I heard him talking. And then she'll look back on it, and I'll fucking do like that, and she'll be watching it like that, and she's hearing him talking, and then she looks at me and says, I hear him talking. I'm telling you, man, I just didn't think that animals were that smart. That cat is a trip. A fucking trip. Put the earbud in the cat's ear, and she'll listen to it. She'll lean into it.
She absolutely does.
And looking at the screen.
She absolutely does understand.
She understands what's going on.
What's going on and what you're saying to her. I don't think she understands English.
No, but she knows the idea.
But she understands the idea that you're trying to convey. Big time. I mean, like, you would have to be an idiot to, like, not think that.
Yeah.
If you were around her every day, she absolutely knows what you're saying to her. I don't think she knows what the words mean. Well, now she does know what some words mean because I have to spell things. Because if I say the word, she'll be like, "Huh?" Like she knows what that word means. So I've started to like spell things if I don't want her to know what I'm talking about. So she does know that. But from the tone of your voice, from the look on your face, she absolutely does know what you're talking about. She jumped up on the bed at like, what time was it? I feel like it was like 6:30. Yeah. And I had actually, because you were camping out in the man cave, I was watching Riff Tracks. The Riff Tracks I watched, like, this was one I hadn't seen before. It was one called The Bride and the Beast. It was not directed by Ed Wood, but it was written by Ed Wood. What a weird fucking movie this was. Yeah. But you know how Ed Wood is just kind of like, you know how in the movie Ed Wood, the Tim Burton one, he's like, I can make a whole entire movie out of this stock footage. That's like it's a joke, but it's not a joke. Because this movie was essentially, the whole like second half of it was almost 90% stock footage. And people reacting to said stock footage.
Yeah.
But the weird thing about it was like the first part of it was about this woman, and she, I don't know what year this movie came out. I'd never heard of it before. But this woman, she just married Lance Fuller, who was also in like a bunch of other shitty 50s sci-fi movies, like The She Creature and stuff. But he was in this too, and he was just as bland. No hate on Lance Fuller. He's a nice guy, I'm sure. But he married this lady, and she had this weird thing where, well, he had a gorilla in his basement, as one does, like in a cage, and she was like vibing with the gorilla. And then there was a thing like maybe she used to be a gorilla in her past life, okay? And then they hypnotize her, and she's talking as though she's a gorilla. But then they go to Africa, and then they get chased by a tiger, which has nothing to do with a gorilla, and I don't really understand like where it was going. And then I fell asleep. But you know what I mean? So I don't know if the gorilla tiger paradigm was resolved, but I don't get it. But like I said, Ed Wood wrote it, so don't expect it to make any sense. But the Riff Tracks version is very funny, and it's actually like on Tubi if you want to watch it for free. That's what I was watching it on. But yeah, so I was watching that, and I fell asleep. I think I woke up one time to go to the bathroom, but like you were still in the man cave because you stay up all night. It seems like.
Well, sometimes I'll fall asleep early. Sometimes I'll be up till like 3.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll wake up, because I usually wake up around 2, 3 to like go to the bathroom, and then like a lot of times I'll hear like you're still awake.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, man, I'm glad he's not in here because he would have woke me up.
Well, sometimes I'll actually fall asleep at midnight and then wake up around 2. Okay, because of what I'm listening to, and Pookie fucking with me, so I'll wake right back up.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of broken sleep happening, but I like it. I don't care.
I mean, no, I have that too. But
Yeah.
well, I mean, normally, if you're in the room, then usually I'll wake up early because you're snoring or moving around or something like that. But even if you weren't there, like even if you're not there, I usually wake up around 2.
Yeah.
Because I have to go to the bathroom.
I'll try to get back into bed at like 6 and try to
Why'd
get
you
laid.
take my drink away?
Oh, it's mine. Okay. I'll try to wake up at like 6 and try to get laid, and then me and Jenny. I gotta hold on. I'm gonna get
Then he walks away.
Hold on.
But see, because like I said, like he pretty much, he'll stay up like half the night until like 3 or 4 in the morning, like listening to YouTube or whatever. And I can't do that because I wake up natural. Like as soon as the sun comes up, 6:30, 7 o'clock, I'm awake.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I gotta get up and get to work. So
I gotta answer to Adriana about stuff.
what's that?
Okay. Adriana. All right. She was saying that she didn't know that they did stuff back in the 50s. She thought that all that hormones and steroid type stuff happened in the 70s with Arnold. And that was what's called the golden era. All right. And the golden era that you're talking about in the 70s happened down at Gold's Gym, Muscle Beach, California, outside Venice. All right. My mom went to high school, Venice High, where they did Grease. You know, the Grease movie? My mom went to that high school. What had happened was during the golden era, rich guys from California invested a bunch of money into Mexico because the laws are a little bit different, and they made some fucking laboratories down there to make steroids. And they would hang out at Gold's Gym. So the doctors would be making steroids in Mexico and hanging out and working out in the Gold's Gym, along with Arnold and all these guys, selling steroids to them, and then they would take them. Okay, so the doctors took their own steroids. So a lot of these classics, you know, Arnold, Sylvester Stallone, Frank Zane, some of them claim to be natural, but no, okay. Built on Mexican steroids. Mexico's got real good laws, over-the-counter laws. They don't have to worry about doctors or laws, like, you know, restricting any of that. They're very open, you know what I mean? You take care of yourself. You're going to take this, then you take the risk and know how to take it, that kind of shit. But no, the 70s guys were all built on Mexican steroids from good laboratories that they had down there. It's not difficult to make, as long as you know how to know what you're doing. And Mexico made a lot of money, okay, off of fucking Gold's Gym. That shit went worldwide. Mexican steroids are fucking world-renowned. It's over-the-counter there. Carl Skoga. A lot of that stuff I've used. It's a lot of their over-the-counter stuff. It's great. Their testosterone's good. Anyway, it didn't start in the 70s. By the 70s, it became widely available on the open market. There was a lot of mass production of it. There's a lot of controversy about when it started. It was known about in the 20s, the testosterone molecule. Some people surmised that shit like that was available in the 30s, especially the late 30s with super soldier programs, all that Captain America shit, super Nazis and shit. Might have had something to do with the synthesis of testosterone and things like testosterone. But definitely by the 50s, it was out there. Did the average person know? No. But bodybuilders knew. And athletes knew about it. They didn't quite make it the same way. But no, it was out there. It's just that it wasn't quite as good. It wasn't as specialized until you started getting into the 50s. The 50s they knew. It wasn't commonly available, though. You had to know the right people. And it was very underground and they didn't really know what they were doing. They were just surmising. It was human experimentation. You can't really get into the fucking, oh yeah, that dude is, now a lot of dudes would be huge. They're claiming to be fucking 100% natural. Bullshit. If he impresses you, he's not natural. Something happened. He's taking supplements, is what they're calling it. And testosterone supplementation at least. Dudes that are big into this fucking go back to the 1800s to be sure if somebody was natural. Okay? Because and even they knew, you know, were they eating a bunch of balls and testicles that came off of fucking bulls. Because you could
I still want to show. I still want to do a show about the goat testicles.
Yeah, they were doing weird shit because
that dude was fascinating.
Even in the late 1800s, they knew about testosterone and they were trying to get it. They were trying to get more of it into a man's system. And were they taking bull testicles or rat testicles or dog testicles that came out of the veterinary when they were clipping dogs? You could take something like that and fucking blend it up and put it into a centrifuge and fucking maybe separate it and try to find an area that, yeah, that's testosterone. Drink that or inject that. Would it have worked? We don't know. But they were trying stuff like that. Because there was this whole thing about testosterone suspension where they were taking that stuff and trying to... The main problem is aromatization. The testosterone compound as a molecule would not hold itself together for very long in a liquid substance that you could inject into yourself or eat. It would your fucking kidneys would fucking take care of it, probably wipe it out. But there are some people that think that they look at some old photographs of dudes in the early 1900s and they're going, no way. Nah. That's the signs of androgen use. But nobody really knows. But by the time the 50s had rolled around, yeah, it was out there.
Well, I mean, the thing about it that, I don't know, I think people know it nowadays, but I think people didn't know it, back in the day, like back in the early to mid 20th century. Anybody that was like a celebrity of any kind, and it wasn't just like hormones or anything like that, but plastic surgery, there was all kind of like tricks. Yeah. Nobody looks like that normally.
No.
I mean, the thing about it is that even everybody that's on camera nowadays...
They're on shit, a lot of them.
Well, and the thing about it...
They're modified.
I mean, even if you're not on anything...
Yeah.
You know, if you're a woman, even if you're a man, like, you got makeup on, you got, like, fucking, like, everybody does stuff to look better. Yeah. Yeah, and it's, like, photographs, you can totally Photoshop that shit. You can Photoshop. So it's, like, unless you can, like, see a person in person, like, what they actually look like with zero makeup on, with zero CG, like, you don't know what that person looks like.
The 1970s, and especially the 1980s, fucking steroids and steroidal compounds became a fucking, a taboo subject. There was like, whoa, you take steroids? Oh my god. But that was kind of an ignorant reaction to people who don't understand exactly how they worked and what the dangers were and what was happening. Okay. So most people that were on them would never fucking say that they were on them. Okay.
Well, it was just kind of like plastic surgery. I feel like a lot of people didn't want to say that they had had plastic surgery, even though they had clearly had plastic surgery.
There were right ways to do it and wrong ways to do it. And the average civilian only knew about the horror stories. And I met a dude fucking a couple years back, fucking black dude, we were talking about the shit. He goes, Arnold Schwarzenegger was on steroids? I just started fucking laughing. And Arnold Schwarzenegger ate fucking Anavar pills like candy. He injected a bunch of fucking testosterone, decadorabalin, fucking Winstrol, and Dianabol. He did a lot of that shit, and he was doing it from a teenage years, which is not good for you. It'll fuck your heart up over long periods of time, especially when you're young. Just because you're not built to weigh that much. Your heart was not built to pump that much blood through that many blood vessels and capillaries through a body that massive. It's harder on your heart to pump blood through a 230-pound body of pure muscle than a 300-pound body of fat. It'll fuck your valves up because it's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of fucking blood vessels you got to pump it through. And muscle's very hungry for calories and blood and shit. It's just real hard on you. You can't get that big and not pay for it, especially at an early age.
Well, that's
where you're
why
supposed to be at a long distance run to the age of 80. It's just you're not gonna make it.
I mean, there's a significant percentage of bodybuilders who die young.
They die young.
Because of that.
They're getting too goddamn big. It's not the drug. It's the size.
Yeah.
They just get too fucking big, too fast.
Your heart can't do it.
Can't
deal with it. Like you said, it's not good to be like hugely fat either, but
being hugely fat is easier on you.
Being hugely fat is actually easier on your body than being hugely muscular.
Hugely fucking muscular and huge, and you got big quick. you're just not gonna make it. That's why those dudes they all had to back off of that shit. Once they got old,
they were dropping dead in like their 40s and stuff.
You just can't do it. Now after andrenopause, which is like male menopause, after that, you don't have enough lifespan yet to really worry about it. You can do shit. Just keep it reasonable. You'll actually live longer. You'll be like that 70-year-old Chinese guy who looks just like me. Looks like he's 50. Motherfucker's 73. Stronger than me. Competing. Because he did that shit later in life.
And I feel like the best thing is, like, don't overdo it.
Don't overdo anything. Right.
Just, like, you can do what you want. Just chill out about it.
Understand it.
Do everything in, like, moderation.
Right.
Moderation.
Now, is that Arnold Schwarzenegger? No. The motherfucker was extreme from an early age. Same with Stallone. I love Stallone. I think he's a great guy. Man, he beat himself up with that shit pretty early. He's looking rough, but I think a lot of that was HCG. Human growth hormone. Human growth hormone can distort your face, and his face got slightly distorted, but he fixed it. But he was doing that in a time when they thought that human growth hormone was better than steroids. It's not. Okay, steroids is a lot. And steroids is just testosterone. It's just a modified testosterone without all the negative side effects of high levels of testosterone. So you can put a lot of steroids in you, get fucking big, without all the bad side effects of putting a lot of testosterone in you. You want a little bit of testosterone or more than an average human, and then some steroids. A normal amount.
Don't overdo the testosterone.
And you'll turn out
testosterone
good.
Will absolutely make you act like a complete douche.
Made her mean as shit for a while.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, it makes dudes mean as shit too. And I'm already mean as shit. I don't need more of that. I don't need more of that.
Women take 1/10 of amount of the man.
I don't need more of mean producing.
There was a couple times where
mean.
we kind of experimented with a little bit higher than 10% or 1/10. And she got mean. So she went down to 10.
The thing about it, okay, I don't know if you know, like I've told you this before, I don't know if you know this, but it's like I'm an angry person, I'm a mean person, but it's like a lot of the times I keep it contained.
Yeah, she got very mean.
But if you give me some shit, then that's gonna I'm just gonna be like, fuck it, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, she's trying to boss me around.
And I'm gonna be like, I will absolutely boss you around.
Getting me. But that time passed. I didn't fucking hold it against you because I knew. I was like, yeah, I know what she's talking about. Because
I still want to boss you around though, because it's like, well, you have a thing where it's like you always like to boss me around, and I don't like to be bossed around.
You just think I'm bossing you around.
No, you are. You do.
I'm bossing you around.
You are a very bossy person, and I don't like being bossed around.
We're both bossy.
That's what I'm saying.
We're both bossy.
So I'm just like, well, that's what I mean. I think in a lot of ways, like I'm a lot more chill about it.
Yeah.
But I really, ever since I was a child, I do not like being told what to do. I do not like authority figures. I do not like. So anybody that tries to make me do something, I'm like, nope. Absolutely not. I'm just like very resistant to being told what to do. I'm like, I know what I gotta do. I'm gonna do my own shit. So if you try to tell me like what to do, I get, even if I don't fight with you at the moment, I store it as resentment. Right. So it's like that's kind of like my whole thing. So it's like it's not so much that I'm bossy overtly, but I'm like covert bossy.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me finish up her answer and that's it. The difference between performance levels of these kind of drugs and then just and therapeutic levels are very different. Like a dude that's trying to fucking win Olympia and be one of the biggest motherfuckers in the world, he might be taking a bunch of testosterone, like 600 milligrams a week, and 50 milligrams of injectable Dianabol a day, and another fucking 30 or 40 milligrams of fucking injectable decadorablin a day. All right? And that's a lot of shit. Versus a dude who's just on therapeutic, which would be 200 to 400 milligrams of testosterone a week and 15 milligrams of injectable Dianabol a day instead of fucking 100. All right, but 15. Okay, big difference. And if he's gone something like Deca, fucking pro might be taking 50 milligrams of Deca Durabolin, and a guy who's just on maintenance or trying to fucking fight off age, he might only be taking 15 or 20 milligrams of Deca Durabolin. And then the Deca and the fucking and the fucking Dianabol, he might only do that for fucking 2 months at a time, and then be off for 2 months, and then go back on for 2 months, and then off for 2 months. You're just supplementing, and that will make a big difference over time. But you'll never get fucking huge, like a dude from Olympia. You know what I mean? Where you're 200 something pounds and it's all muscle and. But you see what those dudes are like when they're not competing, when they're off season. They don't look that good. They look kind of fucking dumpy. The way they look on stage and the way they look just when after the competition is you can't maintain that. You can't maintain that. But
like I said, it's just like anything. Yeah. It's just like a beauty contest.
It's like a beauty contest. That's all it is.
You know, if you're going to be in a beauty contest, you're like, well, shit, man, I got to starve for 6 weeks before I do this. I got to, like, tape up some shit. I got to, like, fucking put this makeup on. I got to, like, get all this nipped and tucked. And you got to do all the, you know. But it's not natural. Nothing like that is natural.
But
nothing like that.
Health isn't natural. Eating right isn't natural. Working out isn't natural. Nothing's really natural. Everything is some kind of a supplement. If you have a good diet, you work out, lift weights, that's the best for building. Have hormone supplementation. Bolster that with very therapeutic amounts of fucking anabolics. This is not medical advice. This is just, I'm just telling you the way it is. This is not advice. I don't want to get in trouble legally. And everything is fucking reasonable. And you're doing this at a place in your time where you're after middle age. You can extend your life.
Yeah,
and the quality of your life.
You don't have to go overboard.
Yeah, you're not burning yourself up with this shit.
Yeah, you don't have to like go overboard. Just get some exercise.
Right.
Don't eat too much.
Right.
Eat some healthy shit.
High protein, low carb.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to kill yourself.
Right.
But, you know, to look okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I kind of feel like people... Even nowadays, people are kind of like, they want to look like celebrities and stuff. But, you know... Those people have nutritionists and trainers and
professional people with
and a lot of they don't look like that when they're not in a movie, and that's very, very difficult to maintain. And nobody would want to live their daily life looking like that all the time because it's too hard. Well, like your life would be miserable.
Depends on which individual person you're talking about. Some are more extreme than others.
That's what I'm saying.
In general, everybody you see in the MCU or in the fucking any of the superhero movies, they're on shit.
Well, not only are they on shit, but they're also on like super restrictive diets
and training.
They're also on very, very restrictive training regimens and stuff like that most normal people would not have time for or want to do necessarily. Because, like I said, it doesn't sound like a fun time.
No, if you want to extend life and look good, and you need effort. It's and me be coming out of a military background, and I'm basically born and raised out of a military academy. I have to be in training at all times. I was always a professional athlete of some sort or another. Fucking being in combat units from the 101st Airborne Division, fucking 2nd ID up in fucking Korea on the DMZ. Anything I was doing contract-wise after my military career, doing a paramilitary career, I was a pro athlete, even though sometimes it wasn't as rigorous as others. But in general, I'm selling my body to other men, like a whore or a prostitute. The two oldest professions. Yeah, the two oldest professions are fucking whores and soldiers.
I like that you said it instead of me.
Yeah, whores and soldiers are the oldest professions of the world, and they're all selling their bodies to men. No, for the women are doing it for sex, and the men are doing it for death. You killing the enemies of the people who have hired you.
Yeah, not much difference.
It's the same.
That's kind of like
you may die.
That's a good way of looking.
Yeah, and the whores died and we died. You know, just
yeah, because I'm gonna say if you're doing like if you're a sex worker, then
exactly.
you can die too.
Exactly.
You can die too. Zach says, so Tom, I'm 5'8" and
Yeah.
217 pounds.
Yeah.
What would be an ideal weight for me? I was most comfortable at
5'8"?
at 160.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what it is. Are you trying to be an otter or a twink or a bear or a fucking... What are we trying to be here? You know, what look are you going for? Be physically fit. I don't remember how old you are. I think you're in your 30s, maybe late 30s. I would always say, as a guy starts getting to his mid-30s, it's time for HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, which is 200 milligrams a week of injectable testosterone cypionate. I like that one. And Anthate works so too. 1,000 IU of fucking HCG, also very good. You shouldn't need any estrogen blockers. I don't like estrogen blockers. I like to have estrogen in my system. It's neuroprotective. It helps with fucking libido. Now, I will fuck my estrogen up with some of the shit that I inject, but it's temporary. When I go on some kind of weird cycle, I'll do some stuff. But that's the basic protocol. And then go and lift weights. Weight training is very concentrated, so it doesn't take much. Just 3 1-hour sessions a week, more or less, of weights. It's really only 4 exercises.
Zach says I'm 25.
25. You're a little young. Go into weight training. Go into weight
He
training.
says, I just want to not feel like crap all the time.
Weight training. Go into weight training. Get your gym membership. Get you one of the deluxe memberships at a gym that involves a trainer, which might be about $30 a month. And it will come with a trainer and tell them that you want to put on some mass and some bulk. Do that for a year and see how you turn out after about a year. Okay? If you're not as fucking big or as lean as you want to be, then go on HRT. And you'll trim down. You'll trim up. Having a...
It's easier for dudes, I feel, because like a lot of the stuff that, I mean, women do it, but I feel like it takes more effort. Like men do stuff. I've heard, like, seriously, I've heard like men a little bit younger, and they were gonna like, man, all I did was stop drinking soda and I lost 30 pounds. I'm just like,
no,
bitch.
Yeah. But Zach, I know you're gay.
That would never happen to a woman.
Zach,
never.
Zach, I know you're gay, so we got to know what your goals are. If you want to look good, you want to look good for guys, you want to feel good. In my opinion, as a straight male, you can't get any better looking than Steve Reeves. If you look at Steve Reeves, that is fucking realistic. A guy of okay genetics at your height could attain that build. Naturally, no. But you could get a start on it naturally. And then once you cut your teeth in fucking bodybuilding, you can go on to supplement your testosterone levels and mess around a little bit with anabolics. Not much, just some. By today's standards, not very light. And it would not affect your health negatively in general, as long as you don't have some unforeseen medical problem. But chances are no. Okay? But no, it wouldn't take much to look like that in terms of, like, you know, anabolic wise. It's not. He's not very extreme. He's just kind of. Nowadays, if Steve Reeves were to get on a fucking Olympia or Olympia stage or anything, they wouldn't even look twice at that dude. Like, nah. They would say he's not massive enough, which I don't agree with that. They want too much mass, and that mass doesn't look that good. Reeves was the king of fucking aesthetics. Okay, he had a good aesthetic balance, and if you looked like that in the gay scene, fucking shit, you'd run that shit.
Zach says, I just Googled Reeves and that looks kind of ew.
Nah. Well, you got bad taste.
Well, not necessarily. Not everybody likes muscle bound. Like, I don't.
He's not muscle bound.
I don't particularly.
He's
like
not
that.
muscle bound. He's not that heavy. It's the shots. I mean, he's pumped up. It's being shot in black and white. They're trying to maximize his fucking definition. Just seeing that dude walking around, he's not that extreme.
No, he's not. But I'm just saying that, like, from this point of view, because and as we can see, because you get like very, very into this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like other dudes are way more into this than women are into this.
Yeah. Well, it's like women talking about hair. Some women,
I don't talk about hair.
But you're not the average woman. A lot of these average girls, you know, if you're back in their 20s, want to talk about the hair and this and that and the hair.
I mean,
hair and makeup. It's like a teenage girl's talking about hair.
Well, I do look at like hair and makeup like stuff sometimes, like for ideas, but every now and then. But normally, that's not usually a thing that I give a shit about.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I take care of my hair.
Yeah.
But I'm not like obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. Overall, I kind of feel like I'm not a person that's really obsessed with looks.
Yeah. Zach, I know you like Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig really is only a little bit smaller than Reeves. Reeves is only a little bit bigger. I mean, because Reeves worked on it more than Craig did. Craig didn't work on it that much. To look like Daniel Craig, that'd be easy. Easy. But he's on junk. He's on stuff. I call it junk. That's not really junk. It's not, because junk is heroin.
Junk means heroin.
Junk is heroin, and fucking that's really bad for you.
Yeah, don't take heroin, kids.
But what those guys
you can take other drugs if you want, but don't take heroin.
Right.
I wouldn't advise it.
The hormones we're talking about, and steroids are a modified hormone. It's a modified synthetic hormone to get rid of certain negative side effects, so you can take more of them. But fucking the stuff that those guys are taking is nowhere. It's actually beneficial as long as you don't overdo it, and you know what you're doing at the right times. I mean, there's some stuff out there that's mild as shit, like Anavar, which are little pills. If you're working out and your test is good, and maybe you're doing some testosterone supplements, you take a little bit of Anavar, you'll be fine.
But see, I think that's the issue. I think that's why I've never been like super into dudes that were like super muscle bound and stuff like that, because it seems like it takes up so much of your life that you don't really have time for anything else.
You think I don't have any time for anything else?
I'm just saying that it's like it kind of like takes over your whole entire life.
Well, it's fun. It's fun. It's like anything else. But the dudes are like that. They're into either one thing or another. Remember, I was totally into motorcycles too.
Yeah, I know.
Totally into guns, motorcycles, totally into military stuff. I
mean, I'm totally into things too.
Totally
like, look, I'm totally into horror movies as well.
Yeah,
look, if I find somebody that will talk to me about horror movies,
then you'll talk all fucking day. Yeah, same thing.
Well, and me and Dimitri will do that too, which is crazy because, like, you know, but he wrote me this big long message.
Yeah.
About my scare salon. Please go subscribe to my new channel, by the way. I posted a video yesterday or 2 days ago about comparing Stanley Kubrick's The Shining with the TV movie version of The Shining, which was directed by Meg Gareth. And I made like a 45-minute video about it. And Dimitri sent me this big long thing because he's always asked me for like horror movie reviews. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh my God, you're so like talented and you're so like fucking." And so me and him will like talk about horror movies all day long. But I mean, Tom likes horror movies, but not as much as me. Like I'm a dork about it.
Yeah.
Like if you know about horror movies and you want to talk about it, I will talk to you all day long about that shit.
Yeah.
For several days.
Right. Now, Zach.
But I don't inflict it on other people, though. I mean, unless they ask me about it and then we get into a thing and then I'll talk about it. But other than that, I don't really...
Zach.
I'm very, like, self-conscious about my dorkiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Zach, a few weeks... When we went to that fucking Sisters of Mercy show, Sisters of Mercy tribute show...
Temple of Mercy.
Temple of Mercy. Which I got the shirt, man. So the shirt is fucking awesome. I got a Temple of Mercy.
Well, and also
it's fucking awesome.
This was the opening band, Obsidian, and they were were quite rad.
Yeah,
that's why I bought the shirt because I'm like, man, you guys kick ass. Yeah. They're from Miami too, I think.
So Zach, Toby shows up. He's fucking decked out, fucking in his leather daddy outfit. He says, "Man, I don't mean to make you mad. I wanted to work out with you, but I got a new trainer, man. He's closer to me." And I said, "Dude, don't worry about it, man. Just do your shit. This and that, you'll be fine." And he had a new boy with him. Okay, he picked up. It wasn't Grinder. It was something. What was it? GoDaddy?
I couldn't really hear. Like
Daddy.
You guys were talking, and I couldn't hear.
He picked him up on some kind of one of these gay sites. Okay,
that guy was rad though.
Yeah, I liked the guy. He was cool. He was
like half his age. He was half our age.
Yeah, he was a baby.
I was like, oh my God, you can be my kid.
You robbing the cradle or you robbing the grave?
He was cool though. He was cool.
So anyway, that's all that dude wanted to talk to me about is about fucking anabolics and working out. He says, "Yeah, I want to get bigger. I want to be, this and that."
I know, I heard. That's why I wandered off.
Yeah, she got bored. She was
boring.
So I gave him the whole fucking So you know what I mean? Just some. It speaks to some people, and fucking being straight, I could fucking talk to the guy more openly because, he knows I'm not trying to get into his shit. I'm just telling him, says, no, if this is what you're into, then fucking, yeah, you need to pick up some fucking little more mass and get a little, this is how you do it, this and that. And it says, and if you're trying to attract that kind of guy, then yeah, this is how you do it. All right. And he was like, thank you so much. Thank you. And then all of a sudden, he didn't want to hang out with fucking, then them two started fighting. And I'm gonna try and talk to him.
Yeah, what?
I said, what? Did he get jealous because he was talking to me? I thought that maybe Toby got jealous because his new fucking squeeze was talking to me. So I hit him up and says, dude, what's wrong, man? What happened? Fucking, you're not. Because I talked to him afterwards. I says, what happened? He goes, oh, he's going off. Fucking.
Well, I wondered about that actually, because like I said, even though you guys were talking,
yeah, I
just kind of like wandered off.
He knew I was with you.
I know that, but I was just kind of like, oh my god, they're talking about like bodybuilding, so I'll be over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I hear it all the time. So I was just kind of like, well, I was kind of like surprised because Toby, he's our age, actually a little bit older.
Yeah.
And he's super, super picky. I don't think I can count on one finger the times that he's come out with somebody that he's like, this is who I'm dating at the time.
Yeah.
And that was years ago. Remember that guy?
Don't know the background.
He's super, super picky.
So the fact my buddy needs a leather daddy. I'll show you.
So the fact that he was at the Temple of Mercy show and he had somebody that he was just like, that was like his date for that evening, and I was like, holy shit, I haven't seen this for like years and years, because like I said, he's super, super picky. So we were like fascinated with this dude. It's like, and he was young. He was like young enough to be our kid. But he was like super cool, and he was really, really cool, and he was like really chill.
Yeah,
and
he was into the fucking goth
and he was
scene.
new. He was like new to the goth scene, but he knew a lot about it. He knew a lot about horror movies. He knew a lot about all that stuff. So I was like, oh my god, he's like really like fucking. He's really on the ball. So Tom talked to him for a long time, and then like later on, I kind of like I said, wandered off, and I was like watching the band and talking to other people and stuff. And then like he's like, oh my god, I think they're fighting. So I was just kind of like. Seriously, like already? Like, how did that happen?
That's a picture of Toby right there.
Look at that hat.
The hat. He's got that hat.
God.
I'm trying to get one. He was fucking decked out. He was decked out fucking last
Victor says, didn't y'all say he was girthy like a Coke can? Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure if he's watching, he'll probably appreciate it saying that. But yeah, I've never seen it like in person, but I have seen it like through pants.
That's decent. Yeah, that motherfucker got gigantic, man. Motherfucker got a dick like a damn 40-ass beer can.
Well,
he's out there fucking, them girls are worshiping it and shit.
Not only that, well, I don't think it's just that. I think it's just that, like,
he can dance. He can dance.
One, he can dance.
Yeah.
He's into cool music and cool shit. He's in good shape, and he's just a genuinely nice person. He's a nice person.
Yeah, real fun.
He's not.
He's tough.
He's not a dick.
Yeah.
He's not a jerk. He's not arrogant. He's nothing like that. He's just like a good dude.
Yeah.
You can hang out with him, and he's totally cool. So I think that's kind of like a lot of the appeal, also. So the fact
I didn't know he was gay.
Well, for a long time,
I didn't know he was gay, and then he told me later. I said, "Oh, I didn't know." He said, "Oh yeah, gay."
Well, it never really occurred to you. Like,
I didn't know he's gay. He's just and he's tough. He doesn't look, Zach. He does date gay dudes, of course, but in general, he doesn't like gay dudes. He thinks that they're full of shit. He likes straight dudes, but he's kind of a. You see, I'm telling Zach this. All right, fucking, he knows, fucking, but gay dudes when they're growing up, their whole experience with relationships from an early age is one of usually a disappointment, because they fucking fall in love with dudes that are straight, that don't want them, so it's heartbreak. So they start off already kind of on the wrong foot with everything, and then they start going out with gay dudes, and then the gay dudes kind of fucking disappoint them. All right, at least when they're guys like Toby. Okay. Because he actually likes straight guys. All right.
Yeah, but the thing about it, that's not just a gay. That's not just a gay experience.
Yeah,
that's a woman experience. I mean, that's been my experience.
Yeah.
Because you always like expect certain things, and then like you start going out with actual dudes, and you're like, oh, you're kind of lame.
Yeah.
Oh, you were also kind of lame. Why is everybody lame?
Right.
It's just like everybody is like disappointing.
Right.
Everybody's disappointing.
He's actually real tough. All right, he's kind of tough. And then he'll end up with these kind of like twanks, you know what I mean? Fucking, and he'll say something sideways to him, and fucking they get insulted, like they'll
be like, bye.
Oh, like they're scared of him now, and he's like, I'm just trying to put the dick in it. That's all, you know. What the fuck? And he gets too dude. He's a dude, you know. And I don't know. It's between them gays, you know what I mean? I'm watching it and I'm going, damn. I feel for you, bro.
But the thing about it is that, it's not any different from straight drama, to be honest. We've seen like way worse shit like play out in straight drama as well.
It's all the same, basically.
That's
it's the same kind of.
It's all the
same kind of thing.
It's all the same. It's not any different.
Right.
It's not any different.
The thing is,
I was just surprised.
He's got a much smaller pond to fish in.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's harder, because it's like
right.
But that's why I was surprised, because it's like I said, usually, you know, he's very picky, and he's just kind of like, so the only time that I've ever seen him bring a date, like, for any, like, you know, length of time was years ago.
Long time ago. And he also likes real tough, mean black dudes. He likes that, too. He was with the black dude, but that dude wasn't tough or mean enough for him. It's just, he's like something out of Mad Max, you know?
Well, the thing about it, and like I said, this applies whether you're straight, gay, whatever, or whatever.
Yeah.
People are going to disappoint you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. You know,
Here's the weird thing.
What's that?
Years back, I'm like, dude, you got so much to offer a woman. Many women love you. Why don't you just start going with them? And he's like, you know, I thought about it, but it's just not.
He's not into it.
Now he'll get drunk. He'll get all over her. Yeah, he loves her. But that's because I think he can't have you.
I kind of feel like it might be that. It might be that
he can't have you. But
I'm not sure why he likes me particularly.
Well, it's a personal thing. He likes you. He likes you. He gets drunk, and then you guys start becoming lesbians. It's like,
I think he likes me because I'm a good dancer.
Yeah.
And
it's like lesbian.
He's drunk, I'm drunk.
Yeah.
We're dancing to the same, like, they'll play some new wave shit, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm dancing with you, and we're dancing all sexy and stuff, and he's just like, he likes that I'll, like,
maybe out there dancing, and then he reached over and tried to grab me in the ass and said, wait a minute, hold on. And he's like laughing. I got the one.
It's all right.
Funny
it's all right.
motherfucker.
He is very funny.
Yeah, he's great.
We love Toby. Yeah. So wait a minute. Tomorrow's movie review is going to be sick as fuck. Yeah, tomorrow's movie review is Disco Path. Were you the one that reviewed it or requested it? Because yeah, I finally get around to it. I have to say though, it's not, if you're looking for like a straightforward Giallo movie, it's not exactly a Giallo movie. It's more a slasher movie, but it has some Giallo elements, so I'm not gonna like get too mad about it. So you know what I mean. Victor says, my type is 23-year-old Latino dudes with a baby mama. Oh dear. Well, Adriana says, Jenny, if we could get to know each other, I think we'd talk of Giallo films forever. Can you still do Giallo August? Honestly, I have to do more. Even though I did a whole month of Giallo movies, I feel like I didn't really even... I didn't scratch the surface. And I know I've done some Giallo movies on the regular show. But man, I need to get more. There's so many. And there's a lot that I've seen, but that I haven't like done video reviews of. You know what I mean? So I have to get into that. I still want to do House with Laughing Windows. I wrote a big thing on it on my blog like a long time ago, but I haven't done a video review of it. And I love that fucking movie. It's so good, but I don't know. I'll get around to it. I definitely will do probably like another, or I'll at least like sprinkle some of them like through the shit, because I don't know. That's like I don't know if that's my favorite subgenre. I think my favorite subgenre of horror is probably like haunted house movies. followed by like psychological, but Giallo is probably I like Giallo movies like better than straight up slashers, even though they share like a lot of attributes, but there's something about Giallo movies that I don't know. I'm just really into those, but I don't know. And that's kind of what happens. Like if I find somebody else that knows a bunch of dorky shit about horror, like, so, because sometimes like our friend Brian, who did that photograph that we showed earlier of Jen and Laura at our house, because he comes to our house for parties, like to do the photo shoots and stuff.
Dimitri's excited, man. He thinks the fucking whole porn shoot is going to happen.
Well, you know how you guys do. You talk about all this stuff.
Fucking,
well, they talk about. It's funny because
we're talking each other up.
The men
about watching
are talking about, and like we don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
they're
we're
like
already talking it up.
They're engineering stuff, and we don't even know what the fuck's going on. They haven't introduced the concept to us.
Bubble bath and costumes. And
they haven't asked us if it's okay.
No, it's just male fantasies.
Yeah,
male fantasies.
That's what I mean. They just think this. They have this whole fantasy about what's going to happen.
Well,
me and
Dimitri talk about y'all.
I know you do.
Yeah, we talk about you and Jen. The two Jans. We're like, we'll do this and that.
What have you said about me? What have you said about me?
Over the years? You want me to tell them?
Sure.
Okay.
We
were gonna fucking hit it. We were gonna fucking line y'all up and hit it and fucking and then you guys were gonna be sharing cigarettes and shit while we're fucking high-fiving each other, taking pictures. It's just,
I know that.
Normal. You knew that one.
I think you told me that.
I already said that a long time ago.
Well, I was thinking that there was maybe something like juicy that I hadn't heard before.
Yeah, we were fucking mapping out. Like I said, we were mapping out a whole fucking lesbian porn scene.
That's also not that surprising.
Yeah, no,
it's not surprising.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like straight guys.
Yeah.
Their whole fantasies are like not that surprising.
No.
They're all
mundane shit.
They're all very pedestrian. So it's just kind of like when you tell us, you're like, yeah, okay. I was hoping for something more creative. But
no.
Okay.
No, it's basic.
Nothing more creative.
Yeah.
Y'all are basic bitches.
We're just basic bitch.
Y'all are basic bitches. But yeah, but like I said, you find somebody, like I said, our friend Brian, who's a photographer, he shot those photos earlier. Yeah, like he's super into, he's real into MST also. So every time there's like some MST event going on, like if there's a Riff Tracks live or something, like if he comes to the club, I'm like, bitch, did you see that? Like, you know what I mean? So we like dork out about that. But like I said, if you're going to dork about MST or about horror movies, man, I will, if you're into it, I will talk to you all night about that shit. I don't care about how dorky it is. I don't care. So, there's that. But because it's like I said, to an extent, Tom likes MST. He finds Riff Tracks funny. Like he'll go to like Riff Tracks live with me. He'll watch horror movies with me, but he's not a dork about it. I'm a dork about it. So, like I said, if I find somebody else that will talk to me about it like all day long, then I'll do that. But he won't. So, just saying. Toby is hot. Would have something with him even if he's gay. Yeah. And like I said, he's not only hot, but he's just like, he's a good dude. He's just like a really, really cool person.
Who are you talking about?
Toby.
Oh, you're still talking about Toby?
Yeah. Well, because Adriana said something about it.
What did she say about him?
She said Toby's hot, would have something to do with him even if he's gay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean.
No, you don't understand, man. When he goes out to the clubs, dressed the way he dresses and his dancing and shit, there'll be a ring of fucking hot girls watching him dance.
Because he's a good dancer.
And
because, gonna say, 95% of straight dudes can't dance.
Yeah, and I was just like...
Can't dance.
I was like, Toby, man, why the fuck are you gay, dude?
Well, he can't help it.
I said, why the fuck are you gay? I said, you got so much to offer these women, man. These women are fucking crazy about you. He goes, I know.
He knows.
And I know.
But
this is why he says, why don't you just go out with one? He goes, I got so many, because he had what they call fag hags. He's got fucking like these overweight worshipers that fucking there's friends of his. And he's like, the thing is that it's just not me. I mean, I like them, but I just don't like.
Yeah, he's not like.
Yeah, I like them, but
he's not really
I just don't like them. It's just not my thing.
He can't help it.
Yeah, they're not. They're too soft. It was like, all right, man, freaking, they're missing out. And he's like, yeah, they are missing out. I mean, the motherfucker's arrogant, you know. And he's like, good. He's, yeah, they're missing out.
Well, I don't know.
It.
I don't know. Like, he's arrogant, but he doesn't come across
It's funny.
as arrogant.
It's funny.
It's funny.
It's funny. It's like, yeah, they are missing
Girls
out.
are too soft. Man, a bitch, I'll punch you right in your face.
A bitch too soft.
And kick you right in your teeth.
Yeah.
That's not soft. Daniel Rolling said, what happened to Tila? Yeah, what did happen to Tila?
Last we heard of Tila.
I mean, I know she changed her
vanished.
schedule. But...
Tila vanished for a while, and then she jumped back in saying that they were in Hawaii and that.
That's right.
Remember that, and that they were trying to move out of San Francisco. They were having some kind of problems with San Francisco because San Francisco's fucking falling apart. And
well, it's very expensive.
Yeah, and then they went back to their vacation, and that was the last we heard of her. But you know what I mean? Fucking people come and go from the thing. Who knows? Maybe she got mad over something I said, or you know, doesn't matter.
Gramthars actually asked who had been, like, which one of our listeners had been here the longest, but I don't really know. Like, I can't really keep track. Like, you guys, I feel like you guys have been here forever, like you guys that are here right now.
Right.
Victor said, what happened to David June? He's still around. He actually sent me a message earlier today. Yeah. So he's still, like, listening to the show. He's still around. Yeah. I just don't think he's on the live stream.
Sandra, I think, maybe got mad when I said that the fucking mustache man of the Bent Cross wasn't a fucking something that just came out of nowhere, that German culture was like that. So that was kind of the last we heard of him. But that is true. He was the German culture was like that. That wasn't. They tried to blame it all on him. No.
Well, and the thing about it too is that you can't always attribute, like, if people can't come to the live streams, you can't always attribute that. Oh, I said something that made somebody mad. They might have had, like, some life circumstances.
Yeah, they're just gone. They died.
Because, like, I mean, Victor says, I was gone for about 2 months, but only because I was working every Wednesday and Friday. I've been around since 2017.
There's no way to know.
So I never assume. Right. Like, if somebody doesn't come around anymore, I don't assume that's just because, oh, we said something that made them mad. I was just kind of like, because, look, I follow a lot of channels, too. But one, I don't have time to, like, listen to everybody's live streams. Two, I don't even have time to, like, watch all their videos as much as I would like to. Yeah,
like, even the people I subscribe to, I can't watch everything.
That's what I mean. I try to, but I don't really have that much time to do it. It's like, I wish I had more time to, like, watch all their videos and stuff, but I don't.
If you guys can see what I'm seeing, man, her legs are getting fucking so good from all that damn bike work and shit. That's also a little bit of hormone replacement.
20 miles a day.
I got her on 20 milligrams
20
a test.
miles on the bike.
Yeah. I got her on 20 milligrams a test a week, which is just basic female replacement for postmenopause, and she's fucking starting to really come together. Yeah.
Starting to come
together. Oh, no, well, what, yeah, of course.
I'm starting.
I'm going to show you.
Like Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, like Frankenstein's monster.
I'm starting to come together. I was just like in broken pieces before, but now I'm starting to come together.
Well, I look at human beings like they're animals. I come from fucking a farming background of dealing with horses.
I know, but to me, cattle and shit. That's like hilarious.
We used to say that about horses. Like, that horse is coming together. She's coming together.
I'm not a horse. I'm a person.
Yeah, but I know that, but we're all animals. I mean, I look at myself the same way.
Yeah, cool,
no,
but like...
No, we talking about your definition's getting good.
Oh, my God.
Your definition's getting good. She's starting to get the little calf lumps and stuff and the fucking little lines right here. You're starting to get that. This is starting to come in. You're plumping out right there.
Do you want to eat it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, this is starting to come in.
You could just cut that right off, make a steak out of it.
Yeah, she's looking beautiful.
Eat it with some onions, maybe something like that.
We're going to the club.
Every time he starts talking like that, I'm just kind of like, I kind of feel like maybe he's cannibal. He's a cannibal.
We're going to that club. It's all meat. We're going to the club.
It's all meat.
We're going to the club.
That's all I am is meat.
You're going bare-legged in them boots with a fucking badass fucking skirt. Yeah, okay, you're going to impress people. You're getting there. Look at this shit. Look at that. Okay, I got.
Is that seriously all you care about, Tom?
No, it's everything. What do you mean? Is that all I care about? What are you talking about?
That's all you ever talk about. That's all you ever talk about.
Oh yeah.
Is that really how you care?
It's not all. What are you talking about? I don't talk about that all the time.
Just eat it then. Just eat it. Cut it off and eat it.
Yeah.
Fry it up with some onions. I might have a piece also.
Yeah. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. If fucking after the show, I'm gonna make us something to eat.
I can't eat anymore. I already told you that.
Did you? Well, you
because
you hit your caloric fucking.
Yeah, because while you were at Lowe's for hours and hours,
then you made some shit.
I already ate some shit, and then you came back and without asking me, made me food.
Yeah, well, that was
but that went over my calorie thing, so I can't eat anymore.
You'll be okay. You've been good.
I can't eat anymore.
You've been good. Be all right.
If you would have asked me,
look at
I would have said, I ate already. Please don't make me anything. But you asked me. Okay. I mean, you didn't ask me.
All right.
So you just made me food, and I
thought you were hungry. I didn't think you'd eat.
No, of course I did.
So you're sneaking food.
I'm not sneaking food. You were just gone for hours and hours. You were gone for hours, so I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to, have some fucking ramen noodles or something. So I just, ate that. And then, you got back a couple hours later, and she was like, hey, here's some food. I'm just like, I ate already, but okay.
That's funny. Adriana's fucking looking at Toby. How hot he is. The girls like him. That motherfucker's built like a fucking 40-ounce beer can. He'll have that shit fucking, he wearing them damn tight-ass pants. And that shit fucking wrapped around his fucking leg like that, and the girl's sitting there. He's dancing, they're drooling. Looks like a 40-ounce beer can with a fucking apple on the end of it. Motherfucker's bad.
Like I said, I don't even know if it's so much that. I just think it's the fact that he actually has rhythm and he actually can dance really well. Because, like I said, 95% of white dudes, can't dance. Yeah, they have no rhythm.
Yeah, but they're not in the. They're not in our clubs though. They're not in our club though.
Well, even a small percentage, a small percentage like goth dudes can't dance.
They can't dance either.
But most goth dudes can at least approximate.
They can put up
dancing, or at least they know that they can't dance, so they don't attempt it.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like the main problem comes with dudes that are they have a few drinks in them. Yeah. I can dance, and then they get on the floor, and I'm like, what are you even doing? Yeah. What is this?
That's not just white dudes, though, man. That's fucking Mexican dudes, too, because that Mexican dude, he couldn't dance. That dude in fucking Sisters of Mercy fucking
I don't even know if I'd call what he was doing dancing. He was mostly just gesturing.
Yeah, expressive
toward the band.
Yeah, Adriana Yuta revoked his Mexican card. He says, no, you can't have it.
Because mostly, what he was doing, he was kind of dancing. But mostly what he was doing was just
yeah. He was doing some impressionistic shit.
It was that kind of stuff. You're the man. It was you're the man, but 100. Yeah, it was like that. So it's that's not exactly dancing. If you're just at a club, there's no band playing, and there's music playing, and people go out and dance. I'm not casting aspersions, like I said, on people that can't dance. Because I know that there's some people that maybe genetically don't have any rhythm. Yeah. This is crazy. My ex-husband. He very famous, not famously, but famously in my mind, couldn't dance. And he asked me, he's like, well, I don't understand, how do you, so I was just kind of do you hear, okay. So I was like, so the song is on. I was like, do you hear the beat? Doom, 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 or whatever the beat was of the song. He's like, I don't understand what you're talking about. He did not understand the concept of beat and rhythm. Yeah. I was like, dude, all you have to do some cool shit, nothing too egregious, but do some cool shit to the beat or to the rhythm of the song, and it'll look pretty good. It might but you'll look competent at least. Yeah. And he had no idea what I was talking about. What are you even talking about? I was like, dude, do you hear that? Yeah. No, he didn't hear that.
No, I couldn't hear it.
So I was just kind of well, you might have some other issues.
That was Wales, man. Wales.
I saw other Welsh people dancing.
They could dance away a couple of,
I'm just saying, it's I'm not sure, because some people may, I don't know, maybe they have some kind of problem, but it's look, all you gotta do, you just gotta do shit to the beat. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you're not overdoing it. We saw the Welsh dude from
fucking Gene Loves Jezebel, he could dance.
That's what I'm saying.
He could dance. He's from Wales. Yeah, he could dance.
I've been to Wales.
Yeah, he could dance.
I lived in Wales.
Yeah.
They're not all rhythm deficient.
Rhythm deficient.
I'm just saying that I thought it was weird because I was like, it seemed very rudimentary. I was just kind of like, okay, listen to the song, whatever the song was. Let's say it was New Order, Blue Monday. Let's say that's what it was. I was like, okay, now listen to the beat. Do you hear it? Do you hear that?
Yeah.
And he just kind of looked at me like, I don't understand what you're talking about. He didn't understand what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, as long as you do something on that beat, then it'll look okay.
Right.
It might not look great, but you'll look okay.
All right. Okay. So, what else you guys want to talk about? Is there anything that's been on your mind? Anything we've had on recent shows? We're available to answer any questions when it comes to... What have we talked about recently? We talked about the damn...
Everything.
I mean, we've been talking about everything. We talked about the fucking...
Well, on the Wednesday show, we talked
British
about the
people,
British Premonitions Bureau.
The Premonitions Bureau.
And about the Aberfan disaster. Speaking of Wales, we also
Yeah.
talked a little bit about the Aberfan disaster as well.
What else have we
Which I was there at that cemetery. So
we talked about fucking James Bond and the 007 series lately. We can talk about that.
Oh, don't even get him started on that.
I'll get started on that bitch. Yeah. I still can't believe that they won't let my boy be James Bond.
He's still sad that Tom Hardy is not going to be
Tom
the next.
Hardy should be
But maybe
James
he
Bond.
will. Maybe they'll surprise us.
I'm thinking it's
subterfuge.
a psyop.
Maybe it's like
I think it's a psyop. I can't understand.
We love Tom Hardy on this show.
Yeah, I can't understand why Tom
Hardy
is not 007.
But
He wants to do it. And
well,
he
look
wanted
on
to
the
do it.
bright side.
Yeah.
If he's not 007, then he will have opportunities to be in lots of other cool movies.
Yeah. Or another fucking Venom movie or
It's
something.
a win-win.
I gotta get the Venom movies on Blu-ray.
It's a win-win. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Blair Dude says they say rhythm is a dancer.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I know that some people are maybe...
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Victor. Do a
Thank
show
you,
about
Victor.
Travis the Chimp. Which one was Travis the Chimp?
Travis the Chimp.
Oh, that was a chimp that had they thought might have been a humanzee. With the little head.
Do you know
Maybe.
what?
I think that's
We
what he's
should
talking
do a whole show about...
Animal-human hybrids?
No, well, not so much, but about, like, can we talk about, like, the chimp that was raised alongside the human baby? Remember, like, in the 70s when everybody was kind of like, well, chimps kind of like, which they kind of are, like, kind of like humans, and they raised them alongside kids. Mm. And then when they got older, they started, like, tearing people's faces off and stuff like that. But, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what happens, because they're chimps. But for a long time, like, before they're about 8 years old, they are actually a lot like human children. You can treat them as such. And actually, in a lot of ways, they're much, much smarter than human children.
Yeah, puberty kicks in, and that's a wrap, though.
But then after, well, not so much for the females, but for the males.
The males, that's it.
Once you get to have a male chimp and it hits 8 years old, you're going to have a bad time. He's going to start, like, tearing your arms off and shit. But females better, but... in a lot of ways, like, it's really interesting seeing, because I've read a bunch of books about, like, Nim Chimpsky, the very famous, like, chimp that was kind of raised as a human. So that might be, like, an interesting show to do, too. Actually,
I'm not sure if that's sensational enough, though.
Yeah, but there's a lot of cases of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cases of that, and you can... I don't know if it has to be necessarily sensational, but it just, like, brings up a lot of interesting questions about how similar, like, humans and chimps are, at least, like, in the childhood era. Because, like I said, you raise kids and chimps alongside each other up to a certain point.
Okay,
very,
now
very
you
similar.
said Travis the Chimp was raised like a kid, and then it tore the lady's face off in there.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, you had other ones, like I said, like Nim Chimpsky, who I read a whole book about, but there were a lot of chimps. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, in the 70s, that were raised alongside humans.
Tammy says that I need to watch Lawless, that has Tom Hardy in it. I don't know what that's
Yeah,
about.
I've heard about that.
But it might be good. What's Lawless about?
It's a series, right?
I don't know.
Is it a series or a movie? I can't remember. But yeah, so I read a book about, I think it was Nim Chimpsky, and he was the one that was actually raised alongside kids, and he was, like, in a lot of, like, if you saw, like, Sesame Street, like, back in the 70s and stuff like that, if you saw a chimpanzee, it was probably him. But once he got to 8 years old and started getting to a point where it's like, hey, I could tear your arms off, they had to, like, you know, send him out to, like, a chimp, like, fucking, you know, camp, I guess you want to call it, where he could be with other chimps, because he couldn't be around humans anymore because he was getting too aggressive. But up to that point, not that much difference between the chimps and the humans. And the chimps were actually kind of, like, acting a lot like humans in the sense that if you raise them alongside humans, they would do human shit that it's just kind of like, they would bust out of their cages in the middle of the night, and it's like, I'm going to go to the fridge and get a beer, and then I'm going to go sit and turn the TV on and watch TV, and then they would, like, drink a beer and, like, watch TV just like a person. And it's just like, if you raise them like that, that's what they would do, because they'd just be like...
That's all they do.
That's what they kind of, like, knew to do. But, yeah, so I've always been, like, really fascinated by... Because I'm always, like, I'm kind of a dork about the science behind, like, evolutionary biology, like human evolution, stuff like that. So I'm always kind of, like, really interested in, like, the similarities between human and ape behavior. I've always been really interested in that. So I've read, like, all, like, Franz de Waal stuff, like, he's a primatologist, and I've read, like, a bunch of stuff about... you know, chimps that were raised as humans and stuff like that. So I'm, like, really, really into that. So that actually might be a really good show, because I actually kind of know a lot about that topic.
Okay.
So, yeah, that might be something. I mean, I don't have a pen. There's a pen over there. Give me that pen and that paper right there, and I'll write that down. I'll actually put that in the poll, like, for...
Paper. About this one?
Yeah. It might be too late to... It's too late to put it in the poll for today, but I will put it in the poll for next week. Because I would like to do a show on that. I think that would be, like, really interesting. Do I have any spare paper? This one's kind of spare. There's not too much on it. I just need, like, a little space. Chimps raised as humans, including Travis. I'll just write Travis on here.
Danny asks, Jenny, is there any chance that in the future you would review the latest Texas Chainsaw Massacre film that came out? We have that.
Wait, no, the latest one?
The latest one? That's not the latest one that we have?
Which is the latest
original one and the second one.
Well, yeah, but the original one was 1974, dude. They did a remake in the 2000s.
Yeah, I think we have that one.
Which was okay.
Yeah. Is that what he's talking about?
Maybe, but I don't know if they've done another one since then. Now, I might review the remake from... When was it? When did it come out? 2004? I want to say it was 2004. I remember seeing it back then, and I liked it, but I haven't seen it since then, so I don't really know. But I might, like, review it at some point. We'll see. I know they've done, like, a lot of other movies since then. I'm never saying no.
Bonnie and Clyde. Talking about the old black and white Bonnie and Clyde, or
yeah, because we did a show.
I thought we did that.
Well, we did a show about Bonnie and Clyde.
Okay.
But we haven't talked about the movie.
Okay.
Bonnie and Clyde.
I liked the movie.
I did as well, but I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Yeah. We might be able to do that. Put that down. Bonnie and Clyde movie.
Bonnie and Clyde movie. And I have to put down, like, new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, too. Bonnie and Clyde. That was the one with Faye Dunaway, right?
Faye Dunaway.
And, what's his name? Warren Beatty?
I think it was, yeah.
Was it Warren Beatty?
Warren Beatty.
Okay. Holy shit, how did I pull that out of my ass?
Yeah. Which those two they were not like fucking Bonnie and Clyde, really, in real life.
Yeah, but it's the movies.
Yeah.
Nobody is like they are.
They were both very much smaller. They were little people.
Little. Well, they
were cute people, but
they weren't exactly little people.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm talking about. They were very. I think she was 4'11". He was like 5'4". They didn't really weigh anything. Just people from another time.
Poor nutrition. Yeah. Back in the old days.
Yeah. They were cute though. She was really cute. She looked like a little model.
Daniel Rowling said the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the one that just came out. Oh, yeah. Okay. I have not seen that, but I will look into it for sure, because I'm always down for anything that's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre related. Yeah, Zach said watched it again recently and forgot how good it was. Blader Dude says you can always do a show on space program deaths, both astronaut and cosmonaut. That might be a good show too, because...
Well, what would be interesting along that line is that there's supposedly a bunch of cosmonaut deaths that were hidden. They went all the way back to,
I think we talked about that one.
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that one that had that woman that heard the radio signal?
Oh, the girl burning up. It's getting hotter. It's getting hotter in here.
Yeah.
I don't think it actually happened, but it might be a decent show. I don't know. Have to see. And the Russian space program had a lot of failures that they hid. So there's probably a lot of fucking vanished cosmonauts
that we don't talk about.
Yeah, they don't talk about, because that would be admitting failure.
Camp Guy said there's a Chainsaw Massacre with Matthew McConaughey very early in his career. Yeah, that's right. I think it was called Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What was it called? The New Beginning? A New Beginning? Something like that. I think it was like, I saw it a long time ago, and I don't remember that much about it. But, you know, I'll revisit it one of these days. We have so many fucking movies we gotta do.
Yeah. What time is it?
It is 9:39.
How long have we been going?
3 hours and 45 minutes.
It's time.
You think?
Time. Yeah, it's time. It's almost 4 hours.
You think it's time?
Yeah, it's a long show.
All right. Oh, yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. That's right. That's what it was called. I saw it one time a long time ago. I don't remember that much about it. But one of these days I'll rewatch it. I kind of feel like, was somebody else famous in that too? Was Renee Zellweger in that? Or am I thinking of something else? But I remember like Renee or Matthew McConaughey being it. All right.
I don't know about you, but I'm hungry.
Well, I can't eat. I told you.
Okay.
I mean, I would like to.
There's something low calorie I can make for you.
Like what?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I gotta see what I have.
Okay.
Some kind of little sandwich or something, because I have a bunch of pita bread.
That's right. You went to the biker bar yesterday.
Yeah, I have a bunch of tuna.
Came back and
a bunch of tuna. I can make a little tuna fish sandwich. That's not much. I have a bunch of eggs. I can make an egg sandwich. That's good for you.
All right, egg sandwich sounds good.
Or just eggs and cheese, or egg sandwich, doesn't matter.
Don't put any cheese on it, though.
Okay.
Don't put any cheese.
Just egg sandwich?
I mean, just eggs, toast. Salt, toast, pepper.
And some kind of flavor. Okay, I can do it.
I mean, even it doesn't have to be a sandwich. It could just be like fried eggs with salt and pepper on it.
Oh,
with toast.
Yeah. Okay, I can do that.
Just make sure the yolks are runny, so I can dip it.
Sure, I can do that.
That was my favorite dinner when I was like 4.
Yeah, I'll make that for you.
Camp Guy said bacon, lettuce, and tomatoes in season. I had one today. Yeah. Bacon's always in season. All right, so we will be back on, what's today, Friday? Okay, so we'll be back on Sunday talking about whatever movie, we don't know. Remember, you guys, that on the Monday matinee show, we're starting to do a haunting episodes. Yeah. We're going to do one every week.
You're right, yeah.
On Monday.
Yeah.
So Sunday we're going to do a movie, and then Monday we're going to do a haunting episode. I don't know which one is going to be yet, but
they're fun.
They are fun to do.
Yeah, come join us live on the haunting episode.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. So we're going to start doing that every Monday, because that was something we decided last week.
Yep.
So Sunday we're going to do a movie, but we don't know which one. So, it'll be fun. Anyway. So thank you for hanging out with us this Friday evening. Thank you for your super chats and all of the conversation that we had this evening.
Yeah,
and
we got drunk with us at the house.
Got drunk with us at the house.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys again on Sunday evening. Good night, you guys.